Damn. All right. Sorry about that. No sound. Got it. And I'll just go back and just kind of recap it, where we were. So what I'm saying, guys, is I'm telling you a quick lesson in trading that happened. I wasn't really going into anything deep with the market, but I want to tell you guys something about panic buying. This is our gold chart, right? I love this picture because it's telling you basically you have the typical human behavior, right? This is human behavior. Okay, this is what most traders and most people act like at the top of a cycle. So we all know the gold cycle is that this is it, right? Everybody wants to buy at the top. Everybody wants to buy when there is, when it's going up at the peak. And a lot of traders are doing that right now. They're doing that right now, and they're doing it on all different time frames. And so my example I was giving you guys was on the VIX and the Dow Jones. So like on the Dow Jones, what I'm trying to say here is basically this. Basically, down here, everyone's going short, and then the market rips you higher. Right, the market rips you higher, okay? And then you get shaken out of those positions. You get shaken out of those positions, and then everyone goes long looking for a breakout, and then it comes back down here. So as you can see, the market and the 4-hour cycle is doing the same thing as the retail for gold. And so this is what happened. And what I was saying before I found out, my mic wasn't working, is the UVIX and the VIX did this to traders, and even maybe some of you guys that follow me. And it's because we broke out here on the UVIX, and then everyone went long volatility. And what did the market do? It crushed you on Friday, because you're no better than this group of these people doing the same thing. So it's fundamental. You need to buy when no one wants it, and you need to sell it when everyone, is into it. So that's what happened Friday. So we have 5 waves off the lows, right? And we called this 5 waves off the lows. We traded this perfect. And then guess what? 5 waves you correct. But for some reason, a lot of traders decided to buy volatility on Friday because they saw a breakout. And when my point was, this is normal human emotion. You need to fight. And you need to fight it on all time frames. This is on this for the gold trader. Here this is on the weekly, monthly, more the monthly time frame, but this is on the 4-hour time frame. 45-minute to 4-hour time frame here. Same thing. You don't want to be like this, the herd here, this group, because that's what happened to traders on Friday. So just keep that picture in mind and think about that. And as you trade, are you when you're buying, are you thinking about how rich I'm going to be? Or are you thinking about what can I lose? And should I really be doing buying here? You missed the move. Retail, the gold traders missed the move. This group of people missed the move. They missed the move, guys. These guys missed the move. But the human behavior is, I need to panic buy it. I missed the move. I need to get in because I'm going to be rich. So I love this picture. I love this picture because this is exactly what you have to fight it's in your DNA. It's wired into your as a human. So you're just gonna have to fight this. You have to fight this. And I just saw, when I saw in the VIX on Friday doing this on a fifth wave, I laughed because I figured a lot of people were going to load up on volatility here, thinking I'm going to be rich on a breakout, only to see it get crushed like we did, right? And then we're going to consolidate, and then one day you're going to wake up and it will break out, and you won't want it anymore. One, either because you lost too much money, or you give up on it, right? Or you start to short it because you're like, oh, it's just going to go back down. But that's what happens. So in my system, and I preach to anyone who's my member. And of course, if you're new and you're not a member, we always preach risk management. We always preach what can you afford to lose, not what you can make. I hate answering questions on what you can make. Right? I hate that. I don't care what I can make. I just only care about what I can lose. And if I see a good deal where I may not lose a lot, like buying the UVIX off the first pullback, we rose and we had a pullback. So buying here was a good deal because look at my risk. Very little risk, potentially a lot of reward. I mean, it could have kept going. I love that trade. I didn't really care how high. I knew it would go higher, but I didn't, we didn't know exactly the setup. But that's the mentality you need to have. You can't be thinking how much you're going to make. You have to get that out of your minds. You have to get that out of your heads about worrying about upside. Upside will just happen naturally. Some things you're going to buy and they're going to go crazy high. And you're not going to know why and you're going to be happy. Like Zcash. Few elite members bought that box and I didn't know it was going to do what it did, but it did. But then there's other ones that barely move from a box. They react and then they languish. And you're like, why did it do that? But it does. But you can't worry about the upside. You just have to just buy good deals. And these boxes represent good setups, good deals, like lower risk management, low risk type setups. And that's what I try to show my members. And then we just take what the market can give us. So that's all I want to say, guys. I thought this was a good picture to show that. And that's what's happening in gold right now. Panic buying. Probably at the top of the cycle, right? I mean, obviously at the top. And once in a while, though, the breakout trader wins. Once in a while, they win. And that only reinforces the bad behavior. The one time that it does keep going up when they buy it, when they chase it. But eventually it ends. Because then it pulls back and they chase it again and then they finally lose. So where are we with the market now? We're in consolidation period. We are trying to find a weekly cycle low. How this pattern develops, it has a lot of possible paths still. It could easily swing up again in something like this and then come back down. It could just come back down early next week on Monday. We could have a massive downside move Monday. Potentially, or we could continue to chop around in this connector for weeks in a distribution. Look like pattern, and then we capitulate later. I think this is too quick for 2. I don't think that's 2. I think you have to make another leg lower somewhere. It could respect this 45,000 level, and then hold it. And then burn the RSI down. It could do that. Why do we care about 45,000? Just because as a chart pattern trader, and my experience is anytime you get a false breakout like this, if this line breaks this area of massive resistance, obviously breaks and is not support, it'll be a false breakout. And typically there's a waterfall sell-off when that happens. Usually it's pretty rapid. My guess is the target, if we break this, would be somewhere around 41,300, 200, somewhere around there, 41,000. Okay, just that would probably be where I'm thinking. Okay, and then some people may want to say that the 5 is in here, the actual grand super cycle that we've topped, and we're going to have the crash of all crashes. Is that technically possible? From the Dow Jones perspective, we do have another high. We do have 5 waves up, and we do have a 5. So is it possible? It's possible. Is it not likely? I don't think it's likely because there's individual stocks that still need more upside that are very large in size. And I do believe that should support the market for at least one more swing higher. But then once we get that next swing, wherever this is, whether it's from this low to here or down here to back up here, whatever it is, then you're on borrowed time. Because we all know the 4 and the 5, it can be tricky to label it perfect. But I mean, once you get that third swing, I think you're in a massive situation of danger. And again, if you're like, what do you mean danger? What do you mean danger? Well, let's take a look. This is again, doesn't this look like gold right now? But this is again on the, I can go to the quarterly chart, right? This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average on the quarterly chart. As you can see, it's essentially parabolic. Well, not essentially, it is parabolic. And we're almost vertical. Straight up. It's not sustainable. It just can't, there's not enough capital flowing into the market, and not in a linear manner, in an exponential manner. We need to have that. So they'll have to continue to print exponentially. The U.S. would have to go into debt exponentially, and to keep this going. If not, it will collapse. And it will collapse. Okay. It's sad if you entered the market anywhere in this area and you didn't get to enjoy this rise. It is unfortunate, but this will create opportunity for another generation of investors when this breaks. So just look at it on that side. But right now, it's hard to top ticket because we're in that mania vertical phase on stocks. That's why the bounces have been so sharp. They're V bottoms. They're quick. The bear markets are fast. This is because we're in this part of the parabolic advance. That's why that's happening. But at some point, this is going to break. Some people think it should break right now, like I showed you. And if it were to do something like that, right, we would breach the line. Then you would rally in some fashion, and then you would go into the abyss. And I don't know how low. Some people think we come back down here. I think that's a little too low. I'm thinking COVID low, 2020 lows, that type of thing. But maybe breach 2020 COVID lows. But that's the future. But here's the present. So in this mania phase, the gains have been great. The dips have been very profitable to buy. But at some point, the party's coming to an end. So that's why risk management is important. That's why you can't be too cavalier about buying huge pullbacks. April, we had that huge pullback, and we found literally support on the parabola, on the parabolic advance in April, on the April crash, right? So if you were buying it here, you were literally making a huge bet. But it was a huge risk, but a huge reward. Obviously a huge reward, because you basically had to have a V shape to keep it going, and that's what you got. The same thing's about to happen. So we're going to pull back, maybe around here, and we may go to 42.2. Ironically, that's the next tap of this parabola. Go figure. Right there. Okay, we're going to tap that somewhere. We're going to tap that, I bet. And then the same question's going to happen. Are we going to be able to V out of that to 50s, or is it the time's up? We'll rally, everyone will be trapped buying that, thinking they're a genius, and then you're going to get the crash of all crashes, and you're going to lose everything. My guess is when this crash happens, whenever it does, the circuit breakers will probably fail to save you. The mechanics won't be able to stop the volume, and they'll just say, damn, sorry guys, it was supposed to stop and it didn't, or the markets just won't open. And then they'll keep them closed, and eventually they'll have to open them and just say, guys, this is the price you're going to get. Sorry, you're way under your stop. Sorry, the market's way under 20. That's how it's going to go down. And that's why I feel like every time you buy these big dips, if you're not doing proper risk management, you are risking being caught up on that. The April buyers that bought didn't understand that risk. I don't think appreciated it. Now they got that reward, but that's now conditioned them to aggressively buy this. So if the perma bears are right, and that is 5 up, and we are about to pull back, make no mistake, if we do not V out of that, and if we just bounce and get rejected, that rejection is going to destroy you. So you don't want to go all in with your stack. This pullback that's coming is not a pullback to go all in with your stack. Okay, this is one where you just have you manage your position size accordingly, and you think about it, and you're smart about it. Okay, so when we put this 2, and if we come back and touch that parabolic advance, understand the bigger picture. While I show this, I can't guarantee 100% this is going to happen, right? I think it's the most likely path. But if it isn't, and you go all in with your stack right here, because April, obviously that was the right call, and the markets condition you to do that. And if that is not it, and the grand super cycle is over, we're going to bounce, and then the day of tears will happen. And my guess is it's going to be, like I said, circuit breaker, market won't open, circuit breaker fail, because it will be the end of the whole thing. It won't be 5%, it'll be like 15, 20%. Individual stocks down 40, 35, 40, you name it. That's what's going to happen. That's what will happen. So you need to understand the bigger picture. As you're loading up on risk, you're at the end of the move. Like the gold trader I showed you, right? I showed you the gold trader at the end of the move. You guys are at the end of the move. This picture that I've shown is like this is no different than retail buying all the stocks right now. This is the same picture. I can show you the same bubble, the same mania. You're like those. So don't be like these gold buyers. Don't be like these gold buyers with stocks, right? So recognize you are at the end. You can still trade, right? You can still buy the dip. We're going to have setups. But if you're not managing your risk and you're cavalier about these pullbacks at this point, the market is going to annihilate you. I guarantee you it, because eventually your luck's going to run out. Your luck's going to run out. And that's what's going to happen to gold buyers here that are panic buying gold. And the same thing's going to happen with stock dip buyers at some point, whether it was here or here. But I still think we get one more move higher, one more nice vertical move, and then that should do it. That's what I think. So let's go to your guys' questions, and we can see what everyone has on their mind today, and go from there. Sorry about the audio earlier. Just I had the audio on. It just didn't find my microphone for some reason. I think it installed some kind of update last night. Let's go to the top of the list, and we'll just kind of go through everything like I normally do. But MPW, let's started looking at some of these already that kind of help us speed through our questions here. So MPW, so we had MPW in a pullback. Okay. It looks like it's likely to double correct. Remember, usually you lose the whole fifth wave. So normally I think this is the right area, 461. I mean, this is no different than I showed last weekend, the weekend before. I mean, this is just, there's really not much to talk about other than we want to see another pullback. And then this at 469 is going to be the area where you want to see a reversal happen. And then after that, you really want to see that breakout. If we fail to do that, then when I look at this overall, it's some kind of connector wave, A, B, C, D, E. I'm sorry. If we fail to do it here, it would likely go back and break these lows, right? We wouldn't want to buy the setup would probably be lost. So I think this looks like a good risk reward setup. This box, right? Because you have 5 off the low. You made a higher high here. I think it's a good risk reward for a reaction higher. This MIGI, the question is, I know it made a lower low, but its price action is baffling. Yeah, it can seem that way. It seems very confusing, but it's actually just correcting a cycle, right? It's basically we came down in a cycle here, right? We came down in a cycle here. Let me see if I can get this right here. So orient myself. Okay, so here's our line right there. So as you know, you come down in 5 waves, and now you're correcting it. So you would want it to be below 246. But again, just like the gold trader, right? The gold trader that I showed you the photo, The short trader was in the same situation, right? They were shorted in the hole here, and they're getting blown up. What happened is down here, everyone shorted it because they're like, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be rich, and then the market's like, nope, I'm gonna blow you up. So why is this happening? It's because too many idiots short it down here. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying you as in anyone watching my video did that, the market is always going to punish you. That's why it happened. You had too many people looking at, I'm going to make a fortune, I'm going to open up new shorts, it just broke the low, and I'm going to be so rich, and I'm the smartest person, and then it's like they rip it higher. And that's what's happening. I think it has another swing higher. And then we'll see if it can hold that low. But with the lower low, just like the higher high, it's doomed. It is a doomed chart. So I don't trade charts with lower lows. What do you mean by that? We came down in a cycle and we corrected it, and then we made a low. So you broke it. You broke down, right? You broke down. So and not only that, you made another low here. So this is doomed. Like, again, I know a lot of traders are fascinated with these kind of charts. They're fascinated, but it's wasting your mental capital. Your mental capital spent looking at charts with lower lows, stocks that go to zero, is keeping you from buying clean setups, charts that that have great risk reward odds, and that are much more on where the odds turn to you and not the house. You need to throw this away. This chart needs to be deleted and never processed in your mind anymore. It's broken. It's a broken chart. It has no setup. Yes, it's fascinating. It goes up and down and up and down, and people are making money and losing money. And I could have got that, and just throw it away. It's not tradable. This is random noise, and you could go to the, if you love that, go to the casino, go to Vegas. And play some games, because that's the type of this isn't tradable. You have no odds, or not in your no one's gonna have the odds. It's 50-50 either way. Even the people that are on long right here, 50. So these kind of charts to me are just throw them away in the garbage. I don't care. I have no personal connection to MIGI. I have no love for any chart. I could care less about any symbol at any moment. I can get rid of it and never trade it again. Tesla, who cares? I don't care, because I don't care about the fundamental. I just care about a chart that's going up and making money. That's all I care about. I care about making money. Making money is all I care about. I do not care about the narrative, the vision, the dream. None of that matters. I just care about making money and having the odds on my side and risk manage. That's all I care about. I want a chart that can make me money, and I can have a low risk setup. If this to me is just mental, a distraction for your mind that's going to keep you from focusing on other symbols that would be making you money. Think about, if you have charts like this you're worrying about, think about all the other symbols you missed last week because your mind's focused on garbage like this one. This to me is a garbage chart. The go to zero charts to me are garbage charts. Again, I understand they're fascinating. I understand like they can go really high, but there's so many better setups out there, guys. I just blows my mind away, the fascination of those kind of charts. But again, so for me, that's all I can say on this. So it's just correct in a cycle. Okay, it's just correct in a cycle. But could it even go higher? It can go even higher, because we've talked about the whipsaw. We could be in a bigger connector. We could be in a bigger connector on this, right? It could do this, A, B, C, go to 550 and then collapse. Like, this could be a megaphone continuation pattern to the downside, right? So like, I could probably just draw the line a little different, right? Just a little different, and probably get it to look like a megaphone, if I do it just right. So I don't recommend trading it. It could actually easily come back up to 559 if it wanted to do that. Oh, I should buy it then. Well, then no. Then that's what's going to happen, is it's going to do this. Because again, on the 4-hour chart, if you're the gold trade, the gold retail gold buyer on the 4-hour chart, and you're like, I'm going to buy it here because I'm going to be rich. Guess what? The market's going to do this to you. That's how it works, right? That's how it works. So you have to manage your risk. I would just throw this chart away. All right, MSOS lower still. Yeah, it's double correcting. So it's coming to another box here around 459, 450. I'd be really surprised if it doesn't hold up, but it would what it would morph into is a WXY. So if that low does break, then we're in a WXY, and then we would come down here. Okay, now we can look at the long higher time frames on this. So the weekly cycle is pulling back. It's not all the way reset. Let's look at the daily cycle. The daily cycle needs to finish. So I think the odds, come back to your favor when the daily cycle is down here, and hopefully that's the case in this box. Then we'll see where it goes from there. Okay. So I think I would just go with that chart for now. Looks like some kind of double correction it's making, but obviously you're correct in this cycle from August 28th, and there's a lot of white space. So if you are following me, my elite members, we bought it down at 212, 215. We watched it, and the day this cycle ended, we were like, you can buy it now. So if you bought it down here, guess what? You don't care. Who cares what happens here? Again, risk, reward. The people that bought it here, like your retail gold buyers thinking, I'm going to be rich, they care a lot, and they're about to get blown up. And that's what there may be, again, too many people bought it here, and no one bought it here, even though that's when I was telling people to buy it. Now, if you bought it down here and you still hold a position, my advice is to just do nothing. Go trade something else. Don't worry about this chart. The odds of it coming all the way back down and breaking these lows is very, very unlikely. Can it happen? Yes. Is it not impossible? It's not impossible, but unlikely. But is it possible to do a bigger double in two? Yes, that is more likely. So that's why we don't want to time the market. That's why when we buy low, we're not trying to time in and out. We just hold through the cycle. We take some partial profit, which I was telling everyone to do up here. And now you got to just hold the position you have left. And you just got to hold until either you need the money for something else, there's a better setup when you need to get this money out of it to use that setup, or you just park your money here and you just wait, or you just like, I ready to just, I just want to take my winnings and do something else. And that's why selling is a personal decision, and why I never tell my members when to sell everything, because there's too many factors involved in selling that are personal in nature. But I do recommend taking partial profit. So we did get the low, we called it. And here you got a little bit of a reaction, failed in a double. Now you made 5 up, good. Made a higher high, even better. So I'll be looking for something like this, okay? Look, trying to make like an inverse head and shoulders. I think this line's like massive resistance. That's why we had it. So it's a big technical accomplishment to flip that, because I think it opens you up to these higher levels like 1150 on our way to the box here in 20. So that is where we are with it. All right, Hive. Hive is just, so I looked at Hive. So we have some 3s and 4s that are just really tight subdivisions. And now we're pulling back in a deeper 4. I still think we make one more high. 950. It could even go even higher. But I think one more high would be likely. And that should be the reversal. Because look, 1, 2, 3. But then after that, just like MIGI, remember we have a lower low. A lower low. So this can go into the abyss. And what, again, are you going to be like the gold trader? I have a feeling a lot of people, when we get up here, they're going to be like the gold trader. They're going to be like the retail gold buyer, right? They're going to be ready to load up Hive. They're going to load the boat because it is going, I know it, and I'm going to be making a fortune. I'm going to be making a fortune. I'm going to be made. This is going to be the hive buyers right here. That picture. That's going to be the hive buyers. And then guess what's going to happen? That. And they're going to be annihilated. That's what's going to... Now, if people are still skeptical and they won't, then yeah, you'll get another breakout. So I can't tell you which path it's going to take. So that, unfortunately, I can't predict for you. But you have to understand that it has a lower low, which means at some point it's going to go into the abyss. So don't fall in love with it. All right, Tilray. Tilray is like MSOS. Now, last time Tilray predicted the MSOS breakout. Now, Tilray is really pulling back deep on this 5-wave advance. But let's take another look at this chart. So there's a lot of bearish divergence here. A lot. You're definitely still in the same cycle from the low. That's why we have it as a 1-2-1-2. So it needs to rally now. So there's a couple possibilities. Okay. I have it in this 1-2-1-2. If it can't rally from here and it goes any lower, I think, of any significance, then we have to look at this chart as like a 1, 2, 3, 4 in a flat, and then this is a blow off 5, which would bring you back down to 93 cents, 91 cents. And then this whole cycle would be 1, 2. Okay? We do have a connector with the failed cycle. So I think, and I look at MSOS has a little, MSOS has a little more downside, but not enough to bring it down here, I don't think. So on the shorter cycle, we've, almost erased divergence there. But on the higher time frame we have, it's so close, maybe just a little bit more downside is coming to erase that 45-minute divergence. I think it's a tough call. There's no setup to buy it here, unfortunately. But if you buy some here, just know you may have to buy more down here. But the good thing is you have 5 waves up. Either way, you have 5 waves up. Either way, you should get one more swing higher at some point in the future. Okay? You should. I think we'll go with this kind of label for now. And you want to see the 45-minute divergence erase. And you want to be somewhere in this box, relatively speaking. Now, it's not perfect science on this box, but somewhere in here, which is why it's already bouncing a little bit. But could it be done on that? It's not perfect. Sometimes it's not a perfect, but it did kind of do, in principle, it did try to do that shakeout. Maybe it is finished. Last time we hit that box on my live streaming channel, the next day was up 45%. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be up 45% on Monday again. I don't know. I think obviously it's gonna make another swing higher. I just think it's in a very tricky moment right here. On BBAI, I have it moving in a corrective manner. So it looks like to me another 5 waves up here. Let's see here how we want to label this. I think we need to just shift it because we are moving correctively. I think we got to kind of shift this around just a little bit and call it W. We're moving in 3-wave moves off the low. So we're just going to have to kind of shift the count just a little bit to make it make sense a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to have to do that. And then I think we're in some kind of X here. Or here. So I suspect we're in an ABC of X. So that brings you back down to 601. And we want to see another leg higher. And that would be your YYY, which would be pretty much the end of the pump. And you would correct all the way back from December 22, which would be a massive collapse at that point. So again, You're trading a stock that's likely to collapse at some point, which makes sense because these are bubble stocks, right? I don't know. It may have some earnings. I don't know if it. A lot of these have zero earnings. I would say it's likely to make another swing out of this consolidation, and then that should be that. And it may never. Looking at this pattern, it may never come back unless it makes a 4 and a 5. So now, when we get up here, if it does a bigger pullback and can make one more high, then we'd have to label it as impulsive, and then that creates a bull market for the stock. It kind of is what you're hoping for, but I think for right now, we need to look at it from this like it's corrective, like it's not going to do that, and that's what the pattern. That's the pattern we're seeing right now develop. All right, so I think it's got more downside. Okay, and then that's it for that. UU was another one that everybody wants to buy now. Again, like the gold trader, the gold retail trader, and then down here, no one wanted to buy it when I was covering it. Again, I told my friends about buying this down in this area generally. One of them has held it since then, hasn't sold it, and they're very, very happy. But now I'm like, hey, you might want to take something off the table because this is a big extended cycle. Well, it's parabolic. Right, it's parabolic now. So let's look at this and see where we are with it. Go to the weekly time frame. Well extended, well up there. Your risk reward now has vanished. Right, now it's all risk with very little reward potential. So my guess is that's 3. So we're gonna do something like this. Now look, this 4. You see this 2? It took what, maybe 3 years. This 4 is likely to take years of consolidation before you even get that 5, right? And then even more consolidation after that. So the next big move like this may not be for several more years or toward the back half of the decade. The easy money may be over. Now you're like, well, what if it just keeps... And again, guys, it can keep doing that. So buying here is super risky, right? But buying down here isn't. So if you did buy down here, you take something off the table, and then you can just hold through this period of time and be okay as a long-term investor. And if it decides to continue to go parabolic, you enjoy that, and you take more off the table. So I think this is my chart. So this is what we're going to go with. I think it has one more high, a lot of force. So Friday started or finished a lot of force in the metals complex, not 5s. 4s. So I think people, again, if you're shorting down here, they're going to get blown up, guys. Anyone who's shorted like on the pull, like if you open a new short today on this, I think you're going to be blown up. Even though it looks parabolic and the move is over, and it's just going to do that. My guess is one more high, because we like to see some weekly divergence. We got some here, right? Even here, you got a lot of weekly cycle divergence. Typically, you want to peak with a little bit of weekly cycle divergence, especially even daily cycle divergence. You don't even have that. We need at least another high with daily cycle divergence at the minimum. So it seems like 5 needs to happen. So yeah, you're going to get another move higher. Then you're going to build daily bearish divergence on the daily, possibly the weekly, and it will peak, and then you'll have a collapse, a catastrophe. It could be, now 4 could be sharp and violent, back down to 12, 11, something like that. Or it could be long and drawn out. But I think it won't be as long as this consolidation and sideways. I think it will be sharp, but maybe half the time. And then you'll get another high even after that. Or you're super lucky and you get 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's where we are with it. So the traders that have bought it, my elite members, right? Elite members, we bought it here at $6, right? We didn't need to buy the April low, right? Because the April low, you're buying it and you're praying. But once we got the confirmation of the higher high, right? We got 5 waves up and the higher high, we knew with confidence the bottom was in. So we bought the first pullback, And then we made all the easy money. It's not fair, is it? It's not fair, but that's how we trade. Oh, you didn't catch the low. Your system's stupid. You don't know how to trade. I got 340. You don't know what you're doing. No, we manage the risk. We trade between the 30-yard lines, guys, on my system. We don't buy. I don't care. Do you think the guy that's selling, that I know that sold 25 on UUUs cares whether he bought it at 549 or 355? I guarantee you that guy does not care. Right? Only idiots care. Only idiots would care. And they're like, oh, your system sucks because you didn't know that was the low. Who cares? By buying here, you could have bought leverage. You could have you could have loaded up on leverage here with the confidence, and you even had a stop. You could put your stop. I mean, you had so much earning reward with almost no risk here. No risk. That's the setups we look for in my elite group, guys. That's what we look for. That's what we look for. And then when we get up here, oh, what's happening? Oh my God, we don't care. We bought down here. I'm like, I don't care what's happening up here, whatever. And then he just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up. And you're like, well, when do we get out? Well, we're going to keep holding. We're going to get a dead cat bounce. What if we get this dead cat bounce here? Okay. And then we don't make 5. Well, guess what? Now we may move our stop up to 19, right? Because this could double correct. And then you start losing too much of your gains. So as a trader, you at some point, if you bought down here, you will move your stop up. Again, trade in between the 30. Oh, you didn't catch the top. Your system sucks. No, we just trade between the 30. We know the trend's over now. That's how our system works. But this is kind of where we are, guys. This is kind of where we are. With this stock, okay? And I'm trying to educate you guys. If you're not elite members, if you're not a member of my system, I'm trying to teach you what we do and what we don't do. And some people hate that. They want to buy here, and they want to, and then that's not my system isn't for you. What you want to do is go join a prayer group, because there's a lot of prayer groups out there that are traders. You know, they pray together. They don't have a system. They just buy and pray. Right, they buy I call them the call prayer groups. Just they buy calls randomly. Maybe there's a system. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it when I see the posts. And then they all pray that it all goes up next morning. And then if it doesn't, they cry together and they ask the cult leader, the follower, that shepherds this prayer group. They beg for forgiveness from their followers and they get forgiven. They all lost money together, and then they try again. I'm not a prayer group, guys. We have a system that we follow, and it's agnostic to what the company is, the fundamental news, and all that. We're not a prayer group, right? So, but some people want prayer group. They want to just buy and hope. We're not gambling. We're not gambling here. There's no gambling here, okay? But there's plenty of prayer groups on site. That's why I started my channel. I started my channel to help people because I saw too many idiots out there just buying things randomly and real people getting hurt. They don't, maybe they can do that because they're rich and they can just throw money away, but they have followers that aren't. And I see followers losing money, and I just got mad and sick of it. Going into 2021 in December, they were pumping the Santa rally. They were having retail buy into that in December. I knew the market was about to collapse. Tech was about to collapse. And I said, enough's enough. I started my channel in December 21, and I told everyone to short the Russell and start unloading big cap tech. And I just had enough of this nonsense online. There was so much misinformation online, and it was all prayer groups. And I even think people lying on purpose. I do believe there are people with huge followers that are telling people to do something, and they're being paid by other people to trap you. And I'm trying to get proof on a couple guys right now. You got to be careful of who you believe in and their sincerity, and do they have an angle, an ulterior motive? Do they really believe in what they're doing? Are they really trading? They're so bearish. Are they really? Let me see. How bearish are you? How much cash do you have? How much is invested? Well, who do you work? Do you work for anyone else? Like, there are people out there that I believe work for big funds, and their job is to get a big following, hundreds of thousands of followers, and get them all offside to help prime the pump for their funds. Oh, no one would ever do that. That's illegal. Yeah, sure, it's illegal. I'm sure it is. How are they going to get caught? How are you going to prove it? And what are you going to do? So you better understand people's motives. Are they sincere? And are they really doing what they say they're telling you to do? Just think about that, because there's a lot of bad information and bad actors out there. They all care about getting rich and making money, and they're asking, why did they start doing what they're doing? Not, I guarantee you, it wasn't to help people. Mine is to help people. I don't need this. This is not, I'm not here to make money and get rich off this service. Not at all. I'm just here to help people, and and this is why I'm doing. This is why I do what I do, right? And because I just got sick of the idiots out there. And again, at the bottom of 22, I was telling people the tech correction ended when the trend line broke, and I had the most death threats and nasty mail because I believe those same people, those same big accounts. I said, hey man, they're like, this guy's giving out the answers to the test. Shit, we haven't loaded up on tech yet. Damn it, shut this guy up. And I was harassed like you wouldn't believe at that low. Well, you couldn't believe it. So I definitely riled somebody up out there, a group of people up. So I don't know, guys. That's all I want to say on that. So let's keep going. Miners, copper miners. Yeah, I think copper still has more upside. Okay. Copper is not gold and silver. Gold and silver has gone parabolic. Copper has not. Copper pulled back and had a large pullback. So I hope that helps sort things out. Let's see where we are with copper. Again, right away. Again, I'm not busting you with this chart, but once I see the lower low, I just delete it. So I'm telling you right now, you shouldn't trade this chart. And if anyone is following me, I don't recommend trading this chart. Everything I'm saying right now, I don't recommend, but I'm doing it because he paid $5 and I'm going to give him his $5 worth of my analysis on it. But once you see that lower low, I throw those charts away. They're dead to me. These charts are, it's like the opposite of a higher high. It's destined to fail. It's destined to be doomed at some point. But couldn't go higher? Of course it can. So if I look at it, it looks like to me that's a pretty large breakout on the weekly. And yeah, my guess is it's opened up a lower low sequence, which means it's got more downside, and so at some point it's going to come to an end. It looks like from this low you have 3 swings up. Let's go to the monthly. No divergence, no divergence. So you're moving in a corrective manner. More than likely, knowing the forecast of copper, it's going to whipsaw up, right? It's going to whipsaw because it's obviously going to benefit from copper. So my guess, it is going to come higher. It's going to come higher. So I think that's how you want to trade it if you want to trade this. Now, the problem is you only have 3 up. So there is a possibility it may not return. It could still break this low. So I don't recommend buying it, but if you want my honest opinion of where this thing could end up, I think we do something like this right now. And go a little higher. You want to see 5 waves, and once you do, then you can continue. So I think it's that. So I think that's what you're going to see. But again, if you're buying it because you see, oh my God, I'm going to make $2 and not, I shouldn't buy it because at some point it's going to collapse and break this low, then you're doing it all wrong. That's how I look at this chart. Yes, I can look at this and go, it's probably going to $2, but then I know there's a ticking time bomb in this chart that at some point the lower low will resolve and I'll be left holding the bag when it does. And I'd rather find something else. That's my thoughts on it. BHP, let's take a look at how we're doing. Looks like my lines got all messed up here. Let's fix that. Let's fix my lines. So far, so good. More than likely that 2 is in. Now, one thing I'll point out is we never made it back down to the 4, which is unusual. So it's a very shallow correction, but it could be that bullish, right? It probably is that bullish. That's a beautiful 3-wave dip there. That looks like 5. So you're in a 5th wave off this impulse off April. So you're going to correct April soon. I think you're going to correct April. I think the whole market obviously is about to correct April. Let's take a look if that pullback was enough to correct April or not. I don't think it is. If you look here in the weekly cycle, you see we haven't corrected. We started to see how we're starting to pull back. Look at that bearish divergence on the stochastic weekly RSI. As you make a higher high, this thing's going to get rug pulled. You're in an extended 5th wave right now. You're in extended, so it's about to rug pull. I think it's about to rug pull, which makes sense because that's most of the market's about to rug pull. The April cycle, right? But it's still, like on the bigger picture, it's okay. I think it's going to be fine, right? But at some point, it's got to correct that weekly cycle. So could it go a little higher? It's always possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could end at any moment. And then you'll get 2. You want to see it come back down to 37.74. Now, could it be a bigger correction? Now, this is what FCX did. Now, this is possible too. And unfortunate, Elliott wave theory gives you 2 scenarios. W, X, Y, and then this was an ABC. That's also possible. Okay. And then that would probably bring you back down to somewhere around 29, 25. So when we pull back, you're going to get one or the other. So with, there's no clue. I mean, we could look at the monthly cycle. I suspect, I think the best way to do it is when you pull back on April here, you need to see where the rest of the market is, where copper, the commodity is, whatever. You're going to have to take a litmus test of where everything is in this area and then make a decision at that point. So I think we'll need to do, when we're in this box here, we need to do another live stream to see, are we going to be in this, or will we have enough data with confidence to support the low. Now, the other strategy is you just trade the bigger picture as a long-term investor, and you play the long game. You buy more here, and you buy even more here. Yes, I'm going to be in the red. Sure, you'll have to dollar cost average. But you don't buy. You just buy it strategic. You buy some at 37, then buy some at 20. Like I said, 26, and then you come out, right? So then that's another strategy if you want to play the long game. So I think that's it. And then you can see here, you're kind of making inverse head and shoulders. So I think we'll go with that. Okay, FMG. Looks like we're still pushing higher. And probably finishing up this cycle too. So we're getting close. And remember the lower low, right? That's the ticking that's likely to pull us down. So I think it's probably coming to an end at any moment. Okay, Litecoin. So Litecoin has to hold this low, or it's going to be a technical break. It's going to be a bigger problem for investors. Now I think, looking at it, I have this as this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I should put that there. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, see, that's only 3 waves. So we'd have to put that there. Again, I'm just kind of thinking about it from a bearish perspective. Is there a bearish count that I'm not seeing here that we need to see? Okay. When I look, at it, we see we had the, obviously that's 1. Now, is this a correction? or is it a bullish 1 2 1 2? Now, here you have 3 down, 3 up. We're always worried we're in a flat, right? A flat, which would mean we would come back and break this low in a 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so what I would say is if we break this low, we go back to the flat count because there's no other count that works. So I'm going to draw the flat count. Okay, I'm going to draw it so you can see it, so you understand what the other path is. Okay, and that would be something like this. And we had this before for a while, but I want to just bring it back just so you know where we may end up, because it's always a chance. And then you do that, and then here was, and then this was really tricky. What happened here is this. See how we made that higher high? That's why I don't like this flip. By the way, that's why I'm not recommending this pattern, because I don't like this, but I'm just forcing a bearish count. I'm a perma bear. I'm going to force this. This is, you know, I'm pretending to be a perma bear, so I'm going to force this bearish count. And that's what I would do. And then this was A, B, C for 2. Even though we have divergence. So it violates a lot of principles of the way my system. But yeah, I mean, I could talk myself into it, and then we finish. So that's why I feel maybe not the April low, but not that crash low, but maybe that April low is the most important. So I think this low at 62 must hold. If not, you have to revert to the flat, and then we're likely to come back and take out 2198 just in just a little bit. The problem is you don't have any chart support, so it would be not a happy day for investors in Litecoin. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You know, that's why you know it's tricky at the moment. So I still don't like that count. I think it doesn't, not that it's not, you know, anything's possible. I just think it's too much of a perma bear count. I just don't like it, and we'll go from there. I think this is where we are with it. So I think you're just gonna have to wait it out and manage your risk. But no, what that weekend crash told us is altcoins can go to zero at any moment. So really, your risk trade in altcoins is always zero. Whether you think that's right or wrong, it is. I think that's what you learned. There's more risk in altcoins than maybe anyone really realized, and there's also exchange risk as well. So you guys have to decide how you want to do it. I mean, I don't see a clear setup to buy it, other than if you buy it, you're just buying it against the April low now. That's the only thing I can think of. But you know, I wish I had better news to share on it. I mean, it's still good news. It's just this. It's just something. This is alarming, but I think it's great that it held though this low. So in some ways, you can look at it from a positive point of view. If this was 3 waves down, that we should be finding a bottom soon. So hopefully this weekend it comes out. If it does, that gives you hope that in fact the bullish count is the right count. But even then, it could still melt down. It's in a flat, so it could still melt down a little bit more. Okay. TAO. So it looks like some kind of 5 waves up. So that looks, you know, something like that. Let me get that back so I can see it again. Something like that. And then a flat. And that looks like 5 up too right there. Yep. So this looks pretty good. I don't know what this is, but the chart looks okay so far, right? And then 3 waves down, and then let's see how he came off of that. See, the problem is no divergence there. Now that was a nice 3-wave move. Almost made a higher high. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. It could still do like another double here. Like it could still go A, B, C, but I would just label it the obvious. All right, that's easy. That one looks pretty good. It looks like it wants to break out higher. I don't know what it does, what it is, what you know what, but that's what it looks like to me. Because I see 5, I see 5, I saw 5 here. I'm only seeing 3s and 3. You know, I'm seeing it. So good luck on that. It did see it. We came back. We went deep enough, right? Deep enough on that pullback. All right. Thanks for upgrading. Guys upgrading and pro members and stuff. That's good. And this goes with the question of and I'm Raja. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. He's asking, can we include other stocks in our market update? I want to include more. I've been just asking if we could get more people to join. I want to be able to grow my channel so I can spend more time on it. So just continue to add members. I'm trying to grow. I want to get like another 200 members to join. So if everyone out there could just ask one person to join, we would be there tomorrow. And then I'm going to add. I'm going to expand for pro and basic members and lead like more services, but not increase the price. And that's my my commitment. So I do want to add more. Now the reason I picked China is it's so different than everything else. It's like the king of emerging market type. It trends with the emerging market, and it's so different. It's like the anti-U.S. capitalism West. So I picked that to just balance out the group. I can see another perspective of the market, but I will do that. All right, Ford. We can take a look at Ford real quick. Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company. Let's see what we got going on here. Have it going higher in a 5. I think if interest rates are going to fall, I bet that may help consumers financing cars. Again, I don't know why TradingView messes up my lines, but these lines are irrelevant here anyway. So we're looking for 5 waves, and then a horrific pullback. That's probably when the interest rate cycle continues. So my interest rate cycle has it going to potentially double digits on the long end, which affects auto loans. That's probably what this represents. Perhaps I think we make 5. Okay, so we're on our journey to wave 5 here, which would break this high, and where we are on that journey is pulling back again from the April low, right? Most of the market's going to correct April. So you're going to have to start to think about, most of these stocks are going to pull back, but then a lot of them are going to be supported. And so, again, time in the market may be tough. So this is another one it may already be in that. It's likely to come back down to 1029. Coming out. Again, I have a feeling interest rate cycle is going to get people happy again. Perhaps other things could emerge, and I don't want to speculate, but I think you've got this nasty pullback coming though, and it looks like some kind of flat. Okay, on Ford. VNM. Looks like we've had this before on our channel. We've been doing this. Looks like we're in this 3. Should be pulling back for 4, like any moment, right? On the high, it's clearly we haven't had wave 4 yet, so we need our 4 and 5. Now, could it still be in 2 in a nasty flat? Possible, unlikely. So we're looking for 4 any moment. My guess is a lot of the emerging markets and things are starting to already correct. This one's kind of a laggard, but it should start to pull back pretty soon in a higher degree correction. Look how long this took. Almost 2 years. I don't think it's going to take 2 years, but it could take a considerable amount of time. So we'll just let this play out here. It's obviously pulling back. So that's what I'd be looking for. Okay. PLD. Again, lower low. We're in the middle area. Obviously, X is continuing to chop around. You need to just, at some point, we'll have to wait and see, get that capitulation moment. Again, to me, this chart is dead. When I see a chart like this, again, I just throw it away. There's no sense of trade in this chart. Again, I know a lot of investors, they love to trade these middle. I would just throw it away and then put on your alert list the day it breaks 83. Then you can like rediscover the chart and care. I don't care about this. But if you're asking me, we haven't taken this peak out, so actually this is still valid. So it actually, again, it could collapse at any moment. It could collapse at any moment. I just don't know when that moment's going to come. But I think looking at it is probably going to swing higher in X to finish the whipsaw up. It's probably going to finish this whipsaw up. Okay. Which obviously raises our target, right? It'll raise our target. So we don't have a target yet. We need to turn lower at some point. So looking at it here, I'm thinking we have some kind of 1, 2, and then some kind of 1, 2 here. Yeah, so that's going to have to finish. So again, why is this happening, right? Because just like the retail gold trader down here, they were shorting it. Everyone decided, I'm going to short right there because I'm going to become rich. And guess what? The market's like, nope. And then everyone's going to go long here, and then it's going to do that. That's why we don't trade the middle area, by the way. But that's what's happened. That's why the market did that. Too many people were thinking, I'm going to make so much money as it falls. And then they ignored the risk of it doing that. And the same thing will happen here. Everyone's going to see it. Oh my gosh, we're going to go to new all-time highs. And hell, we may even crack all-time high. And it's going to be great. And then the market's going to do that. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And if you're a long-term investor, you're going to have nothing to show for it for another 3 or 4 years. You're going to be stuck in it, and you're going to be like, damn. And then you have all these other stocks going parabolic, and you missed out because you were hoping. And that's what I mean by trade in the middle area, because you're hoping that the glory days are back, the glory days, but they're not back. They're not back until nobody ever wants this ever again and can hate it and can't stand it. That's when it's going to be the glory days. Okay. BIPC. All right, continuing higher. We kind of expected that, so I'll just kind of continue to label the waves for you. That was a nice little dip buy down there. If whoever took that. Okay, let's take a look. So that's something like that. I don't think it's a flat because it seems too it's too far from the peak, in my opinion. So I think it's something like that. So it's just going to continue to grind higher. Then uranium metals chart. We haven't looked at the commodity in a while. Yeah, let's take a look at the actual commodity, uranium. It's hard to see it all because it's like there. So it's what's weird. And I think I read a post by one of the chess player traders that said the uranium stocks have gone parabolic, but the actual commodity is still in the dumps. What's going to happen when the commodity actually does this? God help us. That, again, that's how the chess player trader thinks, right? But we don't correlate commodity price to producer price, right? We don't, but they do. So I think commodities here are, it only shows 3 waves up. I mean, I can't guarantee we still go lower in 2. You know, so I think you have to hold the 63.30. We don't have 5 waves. This is tough. I would have expected it to have taken out 106 by now, and it hasn't. I think you are, and you see an oil breakdown, and also you see that wave 4 is all the way down here. I'd be careful for the double correction, and uranium has pumped the producers. Maybe I think we may see a double correction, and then that puts us right back where we want, and then that will crush the producers on this parabolic advance. And really annihilate them, but they would still hold those April lows. So yeah, it's kind of like, I think, perfect. So what this also tells me is when this box is hit in uranium, you better be buying uranium producers and anything uranium related. I think it's going to double correct. I have just my experience. Now I can't say for sure, but I think it's going to double correct. Okay, I wouldn't short it here. I would say the way you played it was the producers were in boxes, great, and we were all happy about that. But now the producers have gone parabolic. They need maybe a year of consolidation to burn off that parabolic advance. And while that happens, maybe this happens. And then when that parabolic advance is over, that would be the end of their wave 2 of the super cycle pullback. Then you get then the producers and the commodity both go into wave 3 of its cycle or super cycle degree. So what this tells me is uranium is going to be a great long-term investment, but maybe there's some pain coming. But I do think when this happens, probably the uranium producers respect the April lows. I bet when we're down here, those April lows are not broken, while the parabolas are broken. And annihilate it. Maybe the URAs annihilate it back down, but I bet it holds the April low. I think that's what I would expect. I don't see 5. And if it hasn't done it by now, with oil breaking down and stuff, I don't know if it can do it. So that's a good one. I'm glad we looked at that. I hadn't looked at that in a while. All right, LUM. Let's go back to LUMN, Lumen. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, maybe, let's see how we are. Let's get rid of that. So like a 2, probably something like this. Right, and we're coming out. So my guess is it's starting to come out of its correction here. I only see 3 waves. So we do need that 4 and 5 to be confident. We don't have really any divergence, so I think it's still potentially a corrective pattern. I think you have to be, a little cautious here. Maybe I could force it. Could be in 4 in a flat. So I think we have to. We need more data to know for sure. It looks obviously like we definitely seem to have gone deep enough. I think. Let's see. Yeah, I would suspect it's done, but I don't have the data to say it for sure. So there is a possibility of a double correction to 189. I think it's not likely. I think you can get 5. And maybe you may already have 5, but once you do, then you get a bigger pullback and should continue higher. Okay. HEPS. Not sure what that was about. Okay. In the box, the sellers are losing control. We'll just we'll put the B here. I can label this in a lot of different ways. I can do that. And we come back down. I could do 1, 2, 1, 2. I could even do a bigger flat here. 1 and then A, B, C, and come back another time. So I think as long as you can hold that low at 240, I would just kind of hang in there and see. I think if you break 240, it will double correct. It'll double correct. And I'll give you a new target. So if it double corrects, it breaks that low, it could see 145. Pretty deep pullback. So I think here it's holding up. It could be in this 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, which means it could be ready to explode out. It's just tough. We're not seeing any. We're seeing a lot of indecision at the moment. We'll wait I would wait, but that's the most important low. EWZ, Brazil. See if my chart's updated on that. Yeah, so I think we're okay. Looking for. This is kind of the look of it. And again, I show the chart. Don't buy it here thinking, oh my God, I'm going to make a money. No, what can we lose? So what can we lose here? We could be in a double correction potentially. It is, we never took this high out. Let's just look at it a little closer. We have divergence, so we have some 5-wave move up. We have nice 3 waves down, but only 3 up. So we only have 3 waves up. I think, again, just looking at things, 1, 2, something like that, and then, or wait a minute, maybe, yeah, that's how we want to do it. So like 1, 2, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Something like this. Now, when that C happens, this could be a big corrective move, right? I'm showing the bullish kind of count, but it could also be like W, X, and oh my God, Y. Yeah. So, but I think it's got more upside in this, whatever this ends up becoming. Okay. I think it has more upside. And I'm showing it as like a leading diagonal. So you can see it's only 3. It's not 5, 3, and 3, and we pull back. But because it's 3, 3, 3, and 3, it can easily be corrective. And if it is, once you get to C, it could just come back down and do just like you saw here. It could just do another one of those. So I think this one's a lot tougher. I wish it was 5 waves and 5 waves. But I don't see that. So this could be a connector wave on the grand super cycle on the like monthly, quarterly chart. So you have to decide how you want to play that. I'm just showing the bullish path, but I don't know for sure if it's going to follow that. I think most likely we're continuing to go higher though. Okay, is what I'm thinking. Let me just go back. Yeah, I think I'll label it that way. I think I'll leave it as labeled this way for now. Okay. Adobe is an interesting stock because sometimes you can use the weakest stocks in the market to find when the big sell-off happens as a way to find the floor in the market. Kind of like when the weakest stock can stop going lower, then the market is gone as low as it can probably go. So perhaps Adobe, we've have, again, I don't have it labeled, but that's 1. And this is some kind of connector. And the box is at 193. We haven't broken the 22 lows yet. I think it's a matter of time. I'm not sure why it's so bearish, but it is what it is. I think it's just correcting a massive overheated advance. Look at this parabolic advance. And it just can't build the energy. It needs to destroy people's, hopes and dreams. So, and my guess is when this pulls back, it's going to take out that peak. So I do believe it's in bear mode. You know, breaking the April lows may make you think I could start to short it maybe, but I would wait. I think once you break the 22 lows, you could start to short the bounces all the way down. I think for right now though, it may make a counter trend rally short term and surprise people. Okay, so let's see where we are with it. Some kind of A, B, C is what I'm thinking. Just kind of classic view. Let me just double check the. Oh, maybe not WXY. So we'll have to go to WXY. We'll go to WXY. Or wait a minute, maybe yeah, no, ABC is just a different connector. That's why it was tricky. That's why a lot of people got trapped in this, because the connector wave is a flat, a lower low. Here's another example. You see how it made a lower low and then it pumped and now it's going into the abyss. You see? That's why we don't trade the lower lows. Now you could have traded this, but we knew at some point with the lower low here it was gonna do something like that. So that's what happened here. The sad thing for investors. So now we need to trace out 5 waves down. Should be easy enough, right? 1, 2. Just kind of trace it out and see where we're going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So it could do that. Or it may have already finished 5. And it's going to do like what MIGI did. And rip higher. Like that. And then collapse down. So I don't know. I think it can go either way. So I think either way, I think it's a 5. Clearly, you see that bullish divergence. It's been corrected in 23. It needs a bounce. Now now obviously you want it to capitulate. There's a possible path where it just capitulates into the box, and this was a 1 2 1 2 1 2. Fine, we can buy it. If it doesn't, it's going to rally hard here to 436 450, or 5 will continue to drift a little lower and then rally again. So I just don't like to trade it in or short. I think the best thing to do is just kind of be patient and wait. But I do think a lot of people are going to, again, see it going lower. Everyone who's been short this hasn't covered. It's still in the same cycle. My guess is a counter trend rally has come in, almost like you saw here, but it's going to fail. And the next failure will be the failure that destroys everybody, is my guess. That's my guess. Now, if the April lows held, and they didn't, you could have talked yourself into an A, B, C maybe, and then 1, 2. Like a 1, 2, 1, 2, but it didn't. So this is the count. So if the market really melts down, let's say the market's just crashing, when Adobe hits this box, that may be a clue when the market could, not go much lower. When the worst of the worst can't go, unless it's going to go bankrupt, which I doubt it will. All right, that's Adobe, guys. Sorry about the sound again. We can just keep kind of trying to filter through comments. I know people want all these stocks and things. Like I said, if you're giving me go to zero charts and stuff, I'm not gonna hurt your feelings. I'm really, because other people are buying that and they're ruining themselves. I don't recommend those stocks, but I will look at them. But if you're into the go to zero stuff, just know I don't recommend them. And I think you're gonna your odds of winning are extremely low. All right. Let's see. RHEINMATL. How low can it go? Let's take a look. Ooh. Well, we definitely got this one right. Right. We had to buy here, and now it's pretty much gone vertical. Right. So I'm glad this one worked out. But like you said, the easy money's over. It's topping, right? It's topping. So how low can it go? Usually it goes to the wave 4 cluster. Okay, usually. So let me go. Maybe so it depends on the degree you're correcting. I suspect now we could still be in this 5. So from here, it looks like you are correct in that wave 4, and you are about to correct. Yeah, so definitely I think there's more downside coming. How low can you expect it to go? Well, usually wave 4s go through to the 618. Usually, not always. Because remember, we just started the correction. This correction could go on for months. Maybe it could go to 1260. Maybe, somewhere around there. But here's the wave 4 cluster. So it may go even lower to 1024. I would say you need, in your mind, you need to be prepared for somewhere in this area. And it's going to take months to get there. Okay? That one's pretty straightforward. Please look at ABAT. Pretty much went parabolic in 3 waves, so very corrective. Again, this one is good. It held the low, but as unfortunately here you had the lower low. So again, just like I keep saying, once you go down in a cycle and you react and you make a lower low, the chart is doomed. So it's likely to go lower. I would just, again, this company, throw it away, dump the chart, just forget it, because it's likely to break these lows, and that's probably what it's about to do. And again, I'm not here to give you guys happy talk and all that. I'm just telling you what I see. I did find support there. So I suspect, looking at it right now, my guess is it's in a corrective move, and we haven't taken that low out. It's going to take that low out. So I think it's got I mean, it probably doesn't have a lot of life left in it as a company. I don't know if it's going to reverse split or something really bad's about to happen to it. So something like that. It looks like, and that only hit 3 down. That looks like 5 down. But no divergence. So yeah, so it ended up being a corrective move down. A corrective move down. And then it did just like that. That's what I'd be looking for. Something like this. And it's probably the part that it's just getting started. Now this looks too extended. It should counter trend rally soon. It should counter trend rally soon, but and then continue lower. It's really hard to. There's not a lot on that. I wouldn't bother with that chart. This is the one that Trump was pumping, let's see, more than likely somewhere around here. I can't tell you for sure exactly, but I would like to see one more wave higher. You do have a higher high. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and then SES. Again, same thing. We have potentially a lower low, right? We could have bottomed here and we didn't. We reacted and we went lower. We throw the chart away. But I will tell you that, like anything, it's probably this count. So maybe one more high is needed. So I would expect a little more upside and then a catastrophe. Looks like, yeah, more upside, and then down. Okay. All right, this one up, and then it continued higher. So that's good for anyone who is long. But again, same thing. You have a lower low. At some point, it will party will come to an end. My guess is that's 3 and 4, 5, and then at some point that. But again, if people are shorting it here, thinking they're going to be rich, the market pumps. So it's just like it's tough, and down here, everyone was short, and they're being blown up. And that's the problem with the C's. They could just keep extending. I don't trade charts like this. You're like, oh, I'm missing all this upside. But it could have easily ended here. It could have ended there. It's just by luck and happenstance. Like, we don't, like, why would you trade it? So we just, it can keep going. But whenever it ends, it's going to be like a day like that. But maybe much worse. But we don't know when that day is coming. So that you're taking a huge risk buying this. But the reward obviously has been pretty good if you're willing to take that risk, in my opinion. But I wouldn't recommend it. I think something like this, maybe that's 4. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's top tier. I think possibly looking at the shorter time frame, we could talk ourselves into the peak already have happened. So it's actually possible it's peaked. I would be very careful thinking there's more upside. CGC. Trying to hit to this box. Looks like you have your first A, B. Maybe one more low. You may miss the box potentially. That could be 1, 2, 1, 2. So I think it's got like just like when I looked at the other Tilray and MSOS, it looked like it had just a little bit more downside. There's your wave 4. Your ideal entry is right at 112. So you'll have to decide how perfect you want. EQX. Again, all these gold stocks have gone parabolic, right? They've all gone parabolic, and but a lot of them are in wave 4s. Okay, they're starting wave 4s, in my opinion. So they're going to go higher. It's just these look. This consolidation took like 4 months. This could be 2 to 4 months as well of consolidation. Once the peak is in, and I think the peak is pretty much close, but you can't. The pullback hasn't been great enough, but that's kind of where we are with it. I think something like this, something like that, is what I'm thinking. I think the 4 just is born. You could be looking for somewhere around 1037, somewhere there. But if you can find a 3-wave buy, maybe you can join the trend on 4. All right, let's see, Poet. Looks like we just missed our box, but we had the general idea right. No divergence there, so it could be still corrective. It did go deep enough, so the odds of it being a flat may be lower, but I would still be careful in it. Okay, I would still be careful in it. I'll label it more this bullish label, but there, if it goes down and let's go to the weekly. Yeah, if we break that trend line, that weekly trend line, if I were to draw a trend line here, if I break that, then it's going to do a flat, and then it's going to come back down again. It's going to come back down here again. So I think we'll just kind of label it this way for now and see if you can continue higher with the breakout. But the idea has been that we've expected this to continue higher. HYMC, is it in wave 3? Ooh, look at that. Again, all these metals were parabolic, and I gave pretty much all these forecasts for free for anyone who's been watching my live streams. Let's see where we're at with this. Oops, go back. Yeah, I think it's your question, is it in wave 3? It's definitely in wave 3. It's just, has it entered wave 4? I think it's entered wave 4. I think metals entered wave 4 on Friday. But the wave 4, as you can see, this wave 2 took almost 4-5 months. This is going to take a while. So it'll probably do something like this and consolidate. And I bet at some point, I don't know when, it's going to revisit this wave 4 cluster. And that's where it will maybe find the low of the major cycle. So maybe it does this, and then it comes all the way back down to somewhere around here later, and then you can get a whole nother pump, even more than this. So I think that's kind of what I'd be looking for. So I think, yes, is it in wave 3 now? Is this deep enough? I mean, I'm looking at it like it's wave 4, but if let's go to the daily and weekly. So the daily cycle is still intact, but then you have to go to the weekly cycle, and that's still intact. So I mean, and you see we're still actually we're just starting to test the August 25 cycle. So I mean, technically it can actually still keep extending. Let me go to August 25. Somewhere here. So yeah, there's a chance we're still in 5. There's a possibility on Monday you come in and these things are up huge again, and we just keep going parabolic. So I can't guarantee that. So it's still, I think 4 started, but we haven't had enough selling yet to say for sure. But that's how we would expect it to start. If we wake up on Monday and this thing's up at $9-10, then wave 5's extending and 3 is extending. And it's just going to keep doing it. It's just going to keep happening. But you see the divergence there. So it's coming to an end soon. But wave 5s can be big blow off tops. IWM is correcting in this flat, I think. By basic members, we kind of expected this kind of turn, and we did get that. Now this type of really nasty sell-off is very typical of a flat. They've mostly crash corrections when they happen. I think we'll be conservative and do something like this with the Russell, and then something like this maybe, and then we continue lower. I think that's kind of what I'll go with the Russell forecast, but I can't rule out 1-2-1-2, and then Monday is a bloodbath. So Monday could still be a bloodbath lower. I just think I'm just showing a more likely view. Now, what if we start to rally from here when we only have 3 down and 3 up? And I talked to my members about this, and I said, well, then we have to put 4 there. We have to put 4 here, and then we have to say we're still in wave 5. And this would have to be some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we come back down. And then we have a massive area of support here. So I think that's this is where I suspect it's going to happen. I suspect this, but there's a couple possibilities. I do think longer term we go higher into maybe 310. I did update this. Didn't make it as bullish. I think on the long-term chart, we're going with a 1, 2, 3, 4 extended fifth. And this is a 1-2 run-in flat that we're in. And then we're in this 3 now. And so this would be 1, 2 of 3. So the Russell would be kind of the leader, small caps the leader coming out of this pullback we're going to be in against the April cycle, the weekly cycle correction around the market, and then top. Now I'm showing it this way. It could still do it vertical. It can go vertical if it wants. Like, I'm just showing that I don't know how long it's going to take, but I do want to see another swing higher at least. Now some people, I want to mention, guys, some people have a count that's different than this. Okay, it's a little different than this, and I believe that count is 500 grand super cycles ended here, and then we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've ended the whole thing, just like I showed you on the Dow. So if I want to be a perma bear, but then again, I would have to say that's only 3 waves. So I'd have to say it's an end in diagonal. So I'd have to say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't see 3 here. So that's the first mistake. But again, if my bias is perma bear, I could put the 5 there. And if I Elliott wave theory, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's over. And we're coming all the way back down to $83. How would we start out in that scenario? A crash in the Russell, just like almost like we started to see, but this is a flat. So what we would need to see is when we get this move, if I'm wrong and we're in that grand super cycle crash, we won't just kind of gap down to 230. We'll be gapping down to like 207, 205. So we'll be looking for like a 15% down circuit breaker if I'm wrong. And then we'll know I'm wrong. And then I'll say the grand super cycles ended in the Russell and I was wrong. And the perma bears were right. I don't think I'm wrong. I mean, I would have to label this as 3 waves, but it looks impulsive. It doesn't look like 5. It looks 5 waves to me. It doesn't look like 3. But you stare at these charts long enough, you probably can see what you want to see. Like looking at the clouds outside, you can see different animals and things and shapes if you stare at it long enough. So maybe these charts you can stare at long enough and get the pattern you want. But I still don't see 5. I don't see 3 waves. So I still think the Russell isn't done and needs another move. And then yeah, maybe it could be done sooner here. Maybe it can go up to my target. Then I'm like, yeah, I would be really careful. But here, I think this is playing out. But it looks like it's playing out as a flat, which I hate flats because they can go pretty deep, although we have seen them go shallow at times. We've even seen run-in flats. Now, let's see if it could be a run-in flat. Let's look if we've corrected deep enough on the RSI and the stochastics. And as you can see, we're not even close. Look at the weekly cycle. So the weekly cycle stochastic on the Russell, just the fun's just getting started. The bears are just starting to have their fun. Look at that. That's going to come all the way down. Now, if we were already down here, I could say, yep, run in flat. Here, I'm like, okay, we got more selling. Look, the selling hasn't even started. The party hasn't even started yet. Sure, maybe we can hang out a little bit more. Maybe we can make that 5th wave I was telling you about. And then, but this is already gone on too long. This has gone on too long. We've stayed up here too long. The last time we've been up such a long period of time was right before the COVID crash, I think. Let's see here. This period and right going into, what happened here? What happened on this weekly cycle? Well, that's when they topped in 3. And we had this big snap. See, we were up here at the top of that wave 3. This was from this point from October 20 to Jan 21. And then it was a sideways. It corrected sideways. You see how the weekly cycle corrected sideways? And then we got that one more high. Then probably corrected the monthly cycle. Now so we could correct sideways, but look how long that took. I mean, that took from Jan 21 to July, so that took like 6 months. So we could either correct sideways for 6 months, or we can crash real quick and get it over with fast in a flat. And that's what I think is going to happen, a flat. But we could meander around sideways, 3, 4, let that weekly cycle break down with crashes along the way. You come up and crash down and come up and crash down, and the RSI burns off, and then you can come out. Okay, Intel, let's take a look at that and see how that's doing. Pretty much hitting our target, and then I would be worried here. So our target was 40. Now it's going to be a big test for Intel to negate the bear case. I still have this one more leg down, but if it can break out more, then you have to just put the low in, and you just have to force the count. So I have it at a critical moment. It's pretty much played. The chart is played out as exactly as I expected it would. We're hitting. I mean, could we have already hit it here? It's possible. It may have already been. The target may have already been breached. Yeah, we may have already reached it. It may already be done. There's a possibility. I don't know that yet. We'll wait and see. If we continue lower, we'll have to call it in. And this is a very important high that would need to be taken out again. The bulls would have to come back. So if we pull back deep, we correct this cycle. If we can come back and take that high out, then the bear case is negated. If it doesn't, then it could turn into this. And why would this happen? Must be something that we don't know about the sector. Who knows? The company. Who knows? But it is what it is. But this is a chart we had, and it hit the target, our trend line. As soon as we saw the breakout, I kind of like told my members, elite members, expect it to hit here, and it's pretty much did everything we expected. Now the expectation is lower, but that one I'm a little nervous about. But maybe I wouldn't short it here though. I would just wait. If we can get a pullback, and then we can break back and take the high out, then I think we can look to buy it. And then I think it becomes something we can start to buy again and look to invest in. And then again, that's what I mean, trading between the 30-yard lines and not trying to pick the bottom. But it could still go lower. All right. Thanks, guys. Lyft. We haven't looked at Lyft in a long time. How is that? I haven't looked at it. How's that doing? Oh, it looks like we had like a short box here on 4. Nice, nasty rejection. Wonder why we had that there. Let's see. I mean, it's been a while. Again, it's the lower low sequence, and I must have just drew this up for somebody at one point. So yeah, I think this is my chart. I don't know why I would change it. I mean, I think we've had this for a long time. So let's keep it this way. So I think it's heading down. I think you'll break these lows, and then it could be finished. I think that's easy. SOAR. All right, same thing here, Mike. I'm not gonna preach to the choir here, but you have a lower low. I just throw those charts away, right? Because it could do what MIGI did. It could just keep extending, and I can't predict that with my system. So I think it obviously did a whipsaw. It looks like you haven't made 5 up. You need to make 5 up. So it looks like you probably are still going to go higher, right? But then at some point it'll have a catastrophe, right? A catastrophe will hit, and then that will be it. I don't even have to look at it. Like once I see a reaction to correct the cycle, and then we go lower, especially in 3, just throw the chart away. I don't even want to bother with it. Oh, but they're great. They're such a great company. They sell so much, and they're good stewards to the environment, and I love their products. Well, I don't care. I just want to make money on their stock, and I could care less about all that stuff. So it did hit the area of reversal. Look at that. So maybe we just don't see the subdivisions. Maybe it may already be finished. But I guess it isn't. I bet it has one more high. Now, it could do 1, 2, 1, 2, and 5 can still C can go. So it's once you're in C, you are in like a mini bull market, right? You're in a mini bull market that has like a ticking, nuclear bomb that will go off on investors. And maybe that happened here, but it may. I think it has one more high with divergence, and then that should do it. But if it goes any lower, we just have to we just have to say C is in, and it's going to new lows. Okay, PAT. Let's take a look here. Only showing 3 up, 3 down, 3 up. So it doesn't, it looks very corrective. It's not a trend-in chart, but it, yeah, I think we're just going to have to call this, there's no other way to label it other than WXY at this point. I wish we would have took that high out. So this is, this one is going to be really tough. So we're in this, this could be X here and we come back up. We could still be an X and a flat. So I think you're not going to really know until you get more data. Taking this peak out would be huge because then it should open up the more upside, but it could still do a flat on you. So 1, 2, so yeah, it could easily come back and come back down here. And my guess is that's what it's probably going to do. Something like this. And then back down. And then you get that X to finish. And then you can continue higher. LIT. Looks like that was the low. So yeah, I mean, we don't have to put much brain power into this one, right? We just can label it. It's probably something like that. So we must have looked at this before. Hopefully whoever asked me about this is a very happy person at some point. Ooh, that's an extended fifth wave. I'm sure the RSI doesn't support that. Yeah, I was like, there's no way the RSI supports that. And then that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably something like that. Something like this. So yeah, it's probably starting to see the 4s and 5s play out a little bit in the cycle. But like we said, it could just keep extending and erasing divergence too. So I'll try to look at these subdivisions and see if we can figure this out. Yeah, I'm probably off by a 4 somewhere in here. So when it gets like this, it's hard to get the subdivisions completely right because it's just so tight. But I think we're gonna go with this. There's a potential box on this 4 if it plays out, if that's a connector. So I'll give you guys this box here. So this should see more upside if the box is hit at 52.28, 50.83. So if it double corrects into the box, that should be an opportunity to join the trend. Join the trend in 4. It could be that, it could be this 4 or that 4. We'd have to come back and look at it later, but you get the idea, right? Okay. Long-term upside, again, if you're new to my channel, I know you're not, I've seen the name before. I don't like giving upside targets because it gives people bad habits. I don't want, because other people are listening to it, so I'm going to asterisk what I'm about to say. I'm going to give you what I think it could be long-term, but we never look at what we can make upside. We don't care. We just care about what we can lose, right? So if you're buying it at 56, you could lose down to 52.26. Okay, that's all I care about. Now, this could keep going because this could be a 1-2. And instead, it could go to 1,000. But, you know, we don't care. That's not driving our decision. Our upside potential does not drive our decision, okay? Even though it is fun to think about and human nature, because that's what the gold traders in the Vietnam shop I showed you earlier were thinking. They were thinking, how much is it going to be in the future? We don't think that on our channel. We think about risk. My guess, I suspect, let me go back and do this again. So I'm going to do this. I'll try to do, I'll just give you my thoughts on it. Looking at $170, comfortable target. The last wave 4, the wave 3 here. I'm going to come back here. Also, Yeah, it went through the 168 even a little bit. So that can get you to 200, 210. So there you go. So somewhere around there. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to buy it, put all my money in. I'm going to go mortgage my house. And no, don't do that. Because you don't know. What if it's about to do something like this? What this was one, right? The people down here probably thought the same thing, or when it started breaking out. But then it gave you a bear market for almost 4 years before you got that money. This is the first wave off the low. This is the first wave off the low. What if we have to go through a 4-year consolidation once this is finished? And it has to do that. You're going to lose all your money. Oh my God, my calls. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And then it does this. That's probably guys, that's the fractal. That's the fractal nature of this. That's probably what's going to happen. That's probably, if I drew this out, this is probably how it's going to go down. You're going to probably go up a little bit more, and then you're going to pull back in some nasty consolidation for years, and then one day you'll wake up and it's going to start to moon. But you'll probably have lost all your money trading other things, or lost patience, or life has gone on and you forgot about it. That's what happened here. The first wave off the low was exciting. And I bet people here were thinking the same thing, right? They were probably thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. It's going to be great. Mortgage my house. And then they had to wait 4 years. And not only that, they had to wait through this lower low and get rug pulled here on the COVID lows. So the market was like, F no, you're not making any money on this. The only people that made it were the ones who bought down here. They survived this because in very patient pro investors. And guess what? We bought it. We called it down here. The same thing. We're calling it down here. So you guys following me, I was saying to buy it around here. And that's like buying it here. But now look at the wait you may have to wait. So we hope that doesn't happen, but it can happen. So just understand that as you manage, as you kind of calibrate your expectations for these gains when you ask me about how high it can go. Okay, that's all I got on that. UEC long-term chart. Again, it's the same thing. We don't care about how high it's going to go. But I won't give the speech again. I'll just do it other than I'll tell you where I think it's going to head based on my thoughts. So it's been consolidating for almost 20 years. And it broke out, parabolic. It's likely to come back and backtest 682, maybe a little higher, maybe $8.47, $9. But there's gonna be some kind of backtest depending on where you draw the breakout line, and then it's gonna go even more insane. Now the backtest could take years to play out. Years. Look how long this consolidation took. So we don't know how it's going to go down, but how much upside is there? This one's a lot harder. I don't think I have a good way of telling you exactly how much more upside is going to be. I think the best thing to do is just understand that it's going to take time, and likely though, long-term investors are going to be very happy being in it. But it's Let's see where we are in the cycle on this. So we are correct in the April cycle starting to here. It looks like it's still extended a little bit. So we're going to need to just kind of update our count. Yeah, so we want to update our count. So we have an extra 4, or we have an extra 3 and 4 in here. We need to add a 4. We're probably in that 3 right now, right? Or we're still in 5. Maybe I think I'll go with this as our count. And then maybe we'll do something like this. Something like that. I think that's what we need to do with this one. Something like that. But this one's tough. I don't have an upside target. The long-term chart is as long as you're kind of stay above this consolidation area, you should be in a bull market. And perhaps a really nice one, but I can't tell you how. I don't really know. I think we'd have to go by market cap on this one. So it's at 7 bill market cap. Is an Okolo at like this Okolo at 100 bill already? It has no earnings. Okolo is 24 bill. So use Okolo as your gauge. So this thing probably has still potential to three times from here at least, and then it's too high. So yeah, so it could still go higher. Maybe it can go to 40, 50 bucks, something like that. This is how I have to time crypto tops. You have to use market cap. The charts don't work. You can't. It can go. So you have to just look at market caps and kind of feel for when crypto is just at the market cap level that of its like peers, competitors, however you want to explain it. And then once it gets to that point, then you know it's probably just it's done. You know, like Zcash would be that. Like, how do I know how high Zcash can go? Well, what's similar, coin that's got like the mind of, every big coins? Well, maybe like it can get like Chainlink market cap size, or maybe it can go to like Doge market cap. Like, but if it got there, then I know that it's over, right? It probably won't go past that type of popularity. So that's how I look at like trying to find upside targets on some of these like pumps. You have to go back to market cap. All right, SLS. All right, let's take a look. Now, see, this one I don't consider a lower low because you haven't reacted. Like this reaction happened and then you made 5 waves down. So this one is a low of some sort. We can take another look at it. Let's just check the higher time frame. Now, from this time frame, I don't like this look, but we still may give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Okay. We'll just have to call it bull market from this low. And then just kind of continue to chart it that way until we get evidence that says it's not anymore. So that's probably somewhere in there is your 3. Let's go to your weekly cycle. Yeah, I think I would put 3 here, 4 here, and now you're in some 5. So something like this, right? And then you should have a pullback, and you should go higher. Now, the reason I think you could go higher is the 5 waves up. Now, the only way this would fail is if this is some kind of if this is your low and it's some kind of connector off of this low. But when I look at the whole structure, I don't think it is. I think you could trade this as a bullish count for now. Now, if it breaks this low, if it comes down and breaks that low, then it's a lower low. You throw the chart away. Okay. UVIX. Yeah, UVIX is interesting. My basic members got pretty much a great update on that, and we did pretty good on that. We did pretty good on that UVIX chart. Now, the problem is the last update I gave on UVIX was we needed 5 waves up. Well, we have 5 waves up. So just like we've seen, again, the UVIX shows a lower low. We have 5 waves up, so the C could be done. And if the C is done, well, then it's going to new lows. And then it could make an even bigger move like this. And then really go. So I think you need to be prepared for this possible path or the one I just showed earlier, where we start to find buyers come in here and we come out, and then the markets really have a bigger meltdown. So I don't know. We haven't. This is our support area. This did happen pretty rapidly. So I think you if you're buying the UVIX here, the risk is very different. Buying it here at the same price it was buying it. See, these were all the same prices, but the risk is so different now. Even though the price is the same, buying it here, the risk was much lower. Here, the risk is much greater. So you just, if you're buying it, know that it could be in meltdown mode, and that would allow these lows to break because we did make 5 up. And that was our update all along, right? We expected more upside, so I said the sell-off was supposed to continue. It continued. Everything I said was supposed to happen. Literally everything happened. I said the VIX likely to get to 25. It got to 25. It went a little bit higher, almost hit 30. I think in my last update said probably could hit 30. And then now you're in this meltdown mode. Okay, you're in this meltdown mode. And that could be because the VIX, the bounce is over. So the VIX could see 1921, 1781 again in this wave. But again, what I'm trying to say is you have your A, B, C. It could be over. C could be done here. So buying this here, you're playing for the big I guess market little mini crash or crash. But just know there is some risk here. It's not the same as buying it here was, or here, even though the price is the same. So you can decide what you want to do. Now, I do think it eventually turns higher, because if it doesn't, then the market it's corrected the April cycle and the market's going to moon. And we don't think that, because when we look at the weekly, we know that that's not the case. Because the weekly cycle on the market just turned over. So here's the UVIX weekly. It's just, this is going to come all the way up. So we know even if the UVIX makes a lower low in price, this is a headwind for sellers on the UVIX. It's going to come out. Every time we've turned higher, it comes up, 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 it comes up. We've never seen it go halfway and turn lower. So it's already broken out. So the cork has been popped. So it's gonna. So I think the chart I was gonna update would be this one. This is my updated chart. But I can't rule out the UVIX makes a lower low in price, but the stochastic RSI is still showing upward momentum, which means that lower low in price won't be long. And then the move up would be violent. Massive crash, potentially. But if it does this, that C leg will probably be, you'll wake up one morning and we'll be up at 15. You won't even know why it happened. So how do you want to trade it? I can't tell you. You use that information how you see fit, but that's what I think is going to happen. I don't think the cycle's over and it's just going into, the next massive leg lower and the market's mooning. No, not yet. Okay? The market is not done selling off. No matter what happens in this middle area, the market on the weekly cycle, again, the fun's just getting started. The party on the bears are just starting. That's got to come all the way down. So even if the price goes higher and makes another high, all-time high, this is likely to make bearish divergence, and you're going to have bearish divergence on this stochastic, and you're going to have that, and then eventually it's going to pull it back down. It's like whatever, it's going to happen. So you're just going to have to be patient through this corrective process. We all want it to just be over, or we all want to just load up on shorts on Friday, like your gold trader did, your retail gold trader, and just make tons of money. But the market is going to punish you. It's going to shake out all the leverage in the system, so no one makes any money but the market makers. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks everyone. Appreciate it. GDX. Looks like the GDX, as you know, like gold is probably entering a 4-wave on a higher time frame cycle. Okay. Gold's entering a higher time frame cycle. It's probably 3's probably in, but just like we saw that one stock, we're not sure if it is yet. It could still be in 5. We'll know on Monday. Now that's a shallow connector. Now we could see a crash correction, and guys, this is what I was saying. If you're in that leverage gold ETF, you better be ready for a 60% haircut. Just so this would be the if it crash corrects, this is your box 71, 69, 18, and then we'd put 4 there. So I don't know where it's going to go. I think we'll know Monday. Yeah, the buy box is right here, and there's your wave 4. So that would probably be somewhere here if it crash corrects Monday more. If it doesn't, then you need to think you're extending 5. You have to, because this isn't big enough for this 4. Because this 4 is this needs to be either a long in time and sideways or sharp and crash, because you're correcting a huge cycle. So I think you just have to expect, I would just, if you're in this, I would just continue to hold for now, but you can decide how you want to trade it. All right. Yeah, I mean, the RSI, you're still extending. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You haven't broken the trend lines, so you're still in the cycle. You don't have bearish divergence on the weekly, which you need to get a bigger top, nor the monthly. So there's 4s and 5s coming, but you can easily extend. In fact, we may still be even in this 5. So I'm just trying to be conservative. So I don't know. I think you can't say I think we start at wave 4, but anyone who shorted, and there was a lot of people like spiking the football, chess players, like we shorted gold, we're so smart, we'll get all the gains we made. They may see that all blow up on Tuesday in their face, because if this 5 is extending, we could be up 10% on the GDA, and then they all blew their accounts up trying to short a parabolic move at the top tick of move, and they'll learn a hard lesson on that. But I see too many celebration posts from short sellers on gold miners on Friday, and I think they're a little too early, almost too early, that I wouldn't be surprised that they blow up early next week and the market annihilates them. I wouldn't be surprised. And then they're no better than the retail, because they weren't shorting. They were shorting based on getting rich, and they didn't understand the risk of those shorts entering in at that moment. You're entering in a parabolic blow off top, so do you know the risk you're taking? This could open up 25% more for all we know. And this could become parabolic moves, we don't know. So you're trying to top tick a short. Ask the GME shorts back in 21 how that worked out. So I have a feeling that, based on the sentiment around the euphoria of shorts, with just this little bit, we only sold off a little bit. I wonder from that point we're going to extend, but the intensity does make me worry that maybe we have started something bigger. So I don't know. But that's what the metals look like right now. Okay, across every one of those, I would be saying the same thing. Okay. ABTC. All right, looks like, again, you have a corrective and a lower low. And when you see a cycle and we correct the cycle and goes lower, typically it's a bad sign. And that's what I think's playing out. We just throw those charts away, but I will give you, I'll just tell you where it could rally from here, because there's potential, it could be a potential bigger 3-wave move. So we could see 346 as a point. I'm not saying it's going to bounce there, but it's likely to. And then the market's going to have a huge decision in this. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then either it will make a whole new swing higher, and it can do that, right? It could make a whole new swing higher, or react and fail. But I think it's going to react here. It's just I can't tell you, because it's the lower low sequence. I can't tell you if it's going to do this and get obliterated, or make a bigger move higher up here and then just come back later and then finish. So, but I think it looks like it's heading to this box to me. Zone. Let's see here. Looks like it's in our box. Now the sad part is, see how it already reacted, but I think that's not enough reaction. So let's see here. Let's look at some time frames. Yeah, we're seeing it move. It could be a triple. That we see those, they're rare patterns, but it could be in a triple corrective move, which is like W, X, Y, X, Z. So if it's the case, it is in that box too. So I think you just have to, we have to just sit and see where it goes. I would say based on the RSI, I would label it this way, and I still would. Hopefully it turns out soon. It turns out of this box soon. If it stops out, this is sometimes sometimes I'm wrong. That's why I say sometimes I'm wrong. Not right all the time. We don't have a lot of data in terms of like, see, it's it looks 5 waves to me. The only way for it to go lower than this is it was some like W, A, B, C, and X. And this was just kind of not a 5-wave move. I mean, there's no other way to say it. So if it doesn't turn here, you'd have to go with a W, X, Y, if it even can survive that. All right. Let me see. BHPLL. I'm not sure if I understand the question completely. Does BHP lower low in January 91 matter? Let me see what January 91 looks like. We have to go way back. January 91. Oh, all the way back here. So right away, if you're talking about charts back in this time frame, that is, there's not a lot of data. So I don't see a lower low. All I see is a double correction, right? I just see a double correction. I'm not quite sure. I guess I don't understand the question. Nothing looks unusual to me other than it made a double correction. So probably it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you could have found the low here, and then it just double corrected on you, and it went pretty deep on that double correction. All right. RZLV. Ooh, what's going on here? All right. So we have, let's look at our box. Looks like 3. Looks like it's going to double correct off of this low. That'd be 378, but you see how we made that higher high here? So I think it's 399. It's probably 399, and I'll relabel it. So it's kind of morphed into probably a different corrective structure, is what I'm thinking. Something like that is probably what it did. Something like that. So I'll be looking for something like this, and then hopefully you get that reaction. I think that's what it's morphed into. IVF. So it looks like we got that 4, and like, now could that be done? Ah, that's a pretty big spike. Yeah, that 4 is done probably. So more than likely that 4 was done. Probably happened faster than you realized it happened, and now you need one more low, right? So 4 is done. Now you need one more low, and I would be looking for maybe 34 cents. But when you make that low, you need to have a bullish divergence basically in every time frame. I would be looking for bullish divergence in almost essentially every time frame, and then once you have that, then you can try to shoot your shot. And if you do, you could be making a ton of money. But I would remember the stop loss essentially 0. So you're risking 0 to make a ton of money. But if you want to time it perfectly, I would be timing it for bullish divergences on almost every time frame. Serve. Yeah, Serve's kind of been up and down and around. It's probably getting messed up with the Russell pulling back a little bit. So I have it in this 1 2 1 2 and then in a flat. If that's the case, hopefully we'll see some upside next week in it. Perhaps the Russell will do a little bit more of a relief rally to allow this to happen. If it doesn't, we'll have to, maybe again, it has options. It could be 1 2 3 4 5. I don't like it with only 3 swings. So maybe I would have to force myself to 1 2 3 4 5, and then we come back down to 1084 and then come out. But either way, when you look at this, you don't have 3, you have 5, and you have a higher high here. So I like buying it. It's just going to be it's a battle of the shorts, and the market makers just do not want you to make money on it. They're trying, like Soundhound, they're trying to, anybody that's like, again, unfortunately, like I keep saying, human behavior, the retail trader, they all buy it here, right? They all bought it here. Maybe even you. Or you as in you watching my video, not you who asked the question. But they did, guess what? They didn't buy it here when I told my elite members to buy it. I told elite members to buy it here. Right? Too many people bought it probably here and here. And now the market makers are laughing their asses off, and they're going to sell it off, and they're going to steal all the money from all the sheep that bought it there. And then if you bought it here, then you have a decision. You can reaccumulate. You could theoretically stop out and buy it again. You could do a lot of things. That's why I always say when you get a reaction, you should take some profit. Because if they do round trip it, But hey, at least you're not caught up in this. But because people bought it here because they were thinking, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. And that's what happens. And you're not. So we don't chase stocks, we don't break out trade, and we're not a prayer group. Unfortunately, that's what happened up here, and it's sad because it was ready to go, but too much hot money chased it here, and now they're going to blow each other up, and they may be forced to sell below our entries, and it is what it is, and we'll have to manage through that process. But the longer term view looks pretty good. It's just unfortunate. It's just jammed up. And it's also being jammed up in the market correction. Nothing works. When the S&P, SPY, and Russell and all that is correcting, almost nothing works. Now, you may get lucky and find the one thing that moves higher, but that's like, like I always say, it's like swimming against the current. Like if you ever swam into a rip current, you then drowned, even though you know how to swim. Even though you know everything, even pros drowned. If you swim into a rip current, you can drown. You have to wait. So if the markets has a big sell-off, and you could be buying into a rip current, no matter how good the chart is, and then the chart morphs into more of a bearish interpretation, and that's what may be happening here. Nothing wrong with it. MVTS, I don't know why I had that box. I wouldn't recommend selling it. It's just. Again, we had a really nice box here. It double corrected on earnings. Again, too many people, I'm going to get rich. And now all of a sudden it broke out. And everyone wants it. And as everyone wants it, you know what's going to happen. They're going to rug pull it. You know it. So I'd be looking for, let's take a look at this count and see where we're at. We have to go to the 4-hour. Probably, I'll call this whole thing 1 2. It's probably something like this. Probably something like that is what I'm thinking. Where could that 4 end? It may have already ended right there. That may already be it. We'll know on Monday. Something like that. If it goes any deeper, it could be corrective off the lows. I mean, there is a possibility it's a 3-wave correction, and it can that'll be the end of it. Technically, it's possible. It's just, I see it's corrective here, so I'm like giving it. I think you'll get the 4 and 5. I think you're gonna get this bigger 4 and 5. It's just the momentum's too strong, I think, to allow it to collapse right now. All right. Momentum's just too strong. ETH is just pulling back. You're just going to have to hang in there with ETH, and there's not much you're going to be able to do here. It's at a very interesting moment. We had this box, which was the crash. It looks like 5 up and 3 up. So, I mean, it looks like, right? With divergence. So, again, I'm just labeling the obvious. I'm not, you know, maybe we get another swing higher, right? If this isn't the count, then you see how that RSI did take out all the peaks. It could be a running flat connector. No, I wouldn't call it that. So yeah, my thinking is you're probably going to get another swing higher. Now after that, I think it's so I don't think this box is relevant right now. When you look at Bitcoin, it's likely counter trend and rally. So my guess is this is going to do the same thing. So I would be careful. It could do something like this. And then have another 3-wave pullback later. That's what I guess is what's going to happen. I'm just thinking that's what's probably going to happen. But I suspect you're going to rally out of this. And then I don't know. And it could end up being the low. I mean, so I think it's 50-50. I think now if you come back down and break this level, then we have to go with more of a bearish interpretation. Okay. SUI, I think that was another one that got obliterated on the sell-off. And again, it reminds you, remember, these things can go to zero. These things, it doesn't matter how precious your crypto is. Any one of these can go to zero. Maybe only Bitcoin and ETH maybe only be the only ones. And that's just a reminder. So this looks like it had a massive low, but look, it held that low. So that gives you hope that technically you're okay. So that low needs to hold. It needs to hold. And now you just gotta hope it holds. And if it doesn't, it's going into the abyss, whether you agree with that or not. Looks like it could have one more low in the flat. So it looks like it's making a flat. It should have one more low. So it's coming back to retest it. The market is going to... So buyers need to come in and show the market, yes, people want this. If they don't and it breaks, all hell will break loose. And this will probably collapse. And it will be in a bigger correction. You're likely to eventually come back down to these lower areas. So this is kind of, like I said, these crash lows are good because it created amazing pivots that you can trade against on the long side now. The market found like technical support on a lot of altcoins, and now you know where you can trade against, because if those bleed down and break, then there's no underlying bid in these. Whether you think there is or not, you may be the bid, but there may be no one else, and there's just too many sellers. And that means there's people using this as a money tree. And you're like, what do you mean? And I'd say this about Litecoin. People that bought this down here, they're selling it, and you're funding their Lambos. And you're like, no, it's going to do this. Well, no. The people here are just overwhelming the buyers still. There's too much selling pressure from the people who bought it down here. And so all you're doing buying it here is you're just helping them buy their Lambos. So say F that, break that stuff, walk away from the chart. And let the whales panic. The SUI whales will panic. They'll realize it's not a money tree anymore. They'll all panic. It'll come down, and then you can come in and take some off of their hands as they panic. And that's what I always thought Litecoin was missing. And maybe the market's going to do that to these guys. Because a lot of these altcoins are whales, and they laugh online about it. The Litecoin whales, they're making fun. If you're buying Litecoin today, they're laughing their ass off at you because you are funding their lifestyle. Because they bought it at $1, $2, some even under $1, and they're selling it to you. They're laughing their ass off because you're buying it at 90 or 80, and they're happy to sell it to you. There's just too many. We need those whales to panic. We need whales to panic. We need those guys to panic and like the XRP guys did when they were ready to like close that, go after that coin. We need whales to panic in some of these altcoins because they're using them as money trees, and it's just overwhelming the buyers, and they can't get anything going. It's very short-sighted on their part because they could make even more money if they just let the price rise, but they're not. They're greedy. They want this lifestyle that you're funding. Buy in the middle area. But this is the technical breakup. This is the technical setup I see. Let's see if it can hold. Let's see if what can happen. Bull. If it makes a lower low, I'm not going to recommend it. I'm going to tell everyone not to buy it. It wouldn't be any investment. But again, because I don't care about how great the company is, if it has a noble purpose, whatever. Once the technicals break, it breaks. So if we break this low, the stock is nothing to me. I will never recommend it. I'll never buy it. I'll never look at the chart. So let's see where we're at with it. Okay, let's see where we're at with this thing. Looks like it's an impulsive move lower. It looks like it's making 5 down. It doesn't look good. I mean, I'm being honest. That's why I'm not talking about it much anymore. It had its chance and it failed. It failed. But maybe it can erase some it needs to erase divergence. So maybe it can still do that. Maybe it can still do that and hold this low. If it can, then I think you're okay. I think it's going to come back and retest this low, and then we'll have to wait and see if it can hold it. The market's coming back to retest it, so we'll see. It's going to drop. If it can hold it, then it's good. If it can't, it could still break the low. We've seen that before, and then do one of those, and I bet it will, just like I have. But is it investable? I wouldn't buy it. But trade it? Yeah, you're probably going to get a whipsaw. So it's either so I don't know. It will break the lows or not. I don't know. But I think this is the chart on that. But once you break these lows, I don't buy charts like that. I don't buy them, so I don't recommend it as an investment because of the chart, not because of the company. The company could have, like I said, all this noble purpose and all this. There's something. The chart is telling me it's not ready to be invested in yet. Now, this could react and finish, and then it could finish a corrective move that looks better, and then we can come into it later. But I'm not going to buy this. Or it could go deeper and finish an impulsive move, and then we can find another low at $2 or $1, and then we can buy it then. So I'm not, but let's see. If it can hold this low, that would be good. And then you have 5 up, and then you have 2, 3 down, and then you long-term investment, buy it here. But it's got to hold that low, and I just worry right now. Neo. Neo showing 5 up with China and 5 up. Looks like impulsive move down. I think it's entering a bigger correction. But we'll check the RSI. We'll check the RSI out. So my guess is you're saying all right, so what I would do on this is so the weekly cycle, what I would be waiting for is that weekly cycle to come all the way down. That would be my first thing. The trend line. So this is tough because you see how you kind of peaked with very little divergence. There is a possibility that this count is 3 is here and we're in a 4, but let's look at this move down that we had recently on the shorter time frame. It has bullish divergence. So yeah, I think we've peaked, and I think looking at this from this cycle point of view, from the daily cycle, I think it's clear you're in a downtrend. So I think the daily cycle's the clue. Eventually, you're going to see the trend lines break on all of these. So I think eventually the weekly cycle trend line will break as well. It just hasn't happened yet. The daily cycle's your warning. So this is going to have. So it's entering a bigger correction. It's going to take months. So I don't think this is going to be fast. I think it's going to take a lot of time, and do something. I don't know how it's going to look. But once I saw the daily break, then okay, you have it labeled right. And then once you see the weekly stochastic RSI rolling over, then you have a bigger corrective move coming. And now you see 5 waves down. To me, that's where I would be going with it on this. ALTS. Pretty much pushing the edge of the box. Again, it needs to hold, ultimately needs to hold this low at 34 cents. We can try to look at the long-term stochastic. You'd see here, you don't want divergence, so you're seeing divergence being erased. The 4-hour cycle is pretty much oversold. The daily cycle, oversold, almost oversold. Again, never really fully corrected higher. The weekly cycle way oversold, and so is way overdue. The monthly cycle, I think, is what's killing it right now, maybe. So maybe it's going to go a little lower. But as you can see, a big rally is due, and then after that, I don't know. I think it's just it's so small. I think it's being manipulated, and I think at some point it will rally hard. This is the typical box. I think a lot of sellers are going to start to find pressure here. UNG. Again, we don't trade natural gas on my channel and my system. I won't cover it, but since you ask, we'll just continue to show the chart here. It looks like we're probably correcting 2 already, right? So probably just off by a swing here. Probably already correcting 2. And this makes sense with oil melting down, right? Natural gas always lags the oil price. So I just looking for more downside. And again, you have lower lows, lower lows. Of course, it could whipsaw back up, right? And then people get angry at Elliott Wave Sage because it does that. But that's why we don't trade lower low sequences. But it could always do that. And then everyone hates Elliott Wave Sage. And then it does this. And you're like, oh, maybe you were right after all. So again, I don't recommend trading natural gas. But if you guys want to use my system to do it, this is my forecast, and it aligns with my oil forecast. Sava. We keep hearing about this one. Let's see. We're looking for that 4 to end. It should be over at any moment, right? Again, let's count the waves and see. Again, you see this lower low. I don't recommend, and I'm telling this for other people listening, I don't recommend trading it, buying it. I would throw this chart away. Just go do something different. But I only analyzing it because this person asked me to, and I do it. So I do think it has a little more upside. Now, again, C can keep extending. We saw that with MIGI. But I do think it has another low coming. It looks like to me, we haven't had a lot of divergence there on the daily. We may already be in the 5. Let's just take a look at our overall count. Let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But maybe yeah, or 1, 2, 1, 2. We'll have to maybe do 1, 2, 1, 2 on that. Maybe that will get us to the right count. Yeah, I bet that's, yeah, maybe something like that. So yeah, something like that. Okay, I think it's still not done going higher. Let's go to the weekly. I like to see weekly divergence, but look at the weekly. Again, it's hung up in here so long. When in its history has it ever been? Never in its history. It's way overdue for a massive move down. It is way overextended. This weekly cycle is way too hot. So I mean, I'm showing this, but boy, I would not be playing for this 5th wave because it is way overdue, and that means it is going to crash down. When it ends, it's going to be over. Because it has no business being up here as long as the weekly cycle is way overdue on many stocks. I mean, this is unacceptable. It has not been corrected. I don't know if you can go through the history and find a similar moment. Here's one maybe here. And look what happened afterward. Boom. Damn. And we broke the lows. That's what I think is going to happen. The same thing. It's the same setup. Same setup. All right. BITF. That one looks pretty good so far. Let's take a look at where we are. a little divergence, but not enough to... So hopefully we keep going up a little bit more. So we're just... This is going parabolic now. We're at the 3. Once we make this 5, then there's no guarantee of a 4 and a 5. So once you get to that 3, it can go back. It can be corrective. I don't like. I tried to take out divergent. Yeah, I suspect you get maybe one more high out of this, and then I don't know after once this 4. Now look how long this 2 took. Almost a year. So this 4 could take a year as well. So this could take a while. So it may, again, you may never see 5. So it's close. It's close to being over, and we had to buy here. STAI. All right, so this one did not work out. Let's see, were we trying to trade a lower low? So it ended up becoming a lower low with 5 waves. So maybe it double corrected. We'll just give it the benefit. Let's see our RSI on the higher time frames. Is turning up, but look, it's already almost, the weekly cycle's almost over. Again, I wouldn't recommend trading this. I would just throw this chart away. But if you have this desire and passion to do it, look, you only have 3 waves. The weekly cycle's over already, so it's about to go. It's about to fall like by the wayside. I would just throw this chart away and just go find something else to buy. But it's only 3. I suspect, looking at where the weekly cycle is, you made a corrective move, and now you're going down again. So I would just expect more downside. Perhaps you make another quick like higher. Maybe you could do like a higher 2 could be done. I would just label it this way, and I would expect more downside to occur because of that weekly cycle's ready to roll over. If you don't have enough time. It's out of time. And look at that sell-off. So this is likely to just continue to melt down. I would just, but I honestly don't trade. I wouldn't trade that chart. MBRX. Looks like another one. Only in the middle area. Could still be in 2, could still come back up and short squeeze up to 140. Again, I don't recommend trading this chart with the lower low. Anyone listening to me, I would just throw this chart away. But if you want to see, you only have 3. But if you can't help yourself, I think it's lower is the most likely path. All right. There is no pump. I would not expect a pump. Remember, if you listened to me earlier, we don't care about pumps. We care about what we can lose. And in this stock, you can lose everything. 0. So if you don't mind the stop loss being 0, the pump could be extraordinary. It could come up to $4 back to the 4B. So this is your pump area. It could pump to 380, but I would not be playing for a pump. I would just, it's totally like going to the casino and putting your money, at the crap table, and maybe you win, and you may, and just know you could lose it all, 0. And this is, and I think I'm saying you're probably going to lose it all, but maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong because I like people making money. I don't like people losing money. PSTV. Let's see here. So this does not look like 5. Yeah, see how we, I bet we're still in 4 here, but we'll look at it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wonder if we're done the cycle. Not yet. We're close. So it's right at the edge of it. I think it needs another leg lower for 5. If I look at this, it looks like it did maybe one more high, but then that would end that cycle if it goes any higher. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you put 3 there, and then you have 3 waves up. So I think 4 is done here. If it goes any higher, you have to call it finished. And then you can start, then it would be a 1-2, 1-2, and it would just pump. So I think this is, if it flips, if it can flip this level, I think it's going to pump really big. But if it can't, I think you're going to have more downside. So I think that's your kind of like line in the sand. So I think if you can break, if the market can take out 93 cents, the robots are going to come in and it's just going to pump before you realize what happened. And then if it doesn't, it's going to just continue to melt down, and then you'll get the counter trend rally, and we can't even target it. So it's going to be really tough to time it. Okay. TOVX. TOVX. And again, again, if you're new, if you're following me, I do not like trade. I do not recommend stocks like this. I do not recommend go to zeros, stocks with lower lows. We do not trade those. I do not recommend them. My elite members, we do not trade these. But because you ask, I do it. I'm not endorsing this or encouraging anyone out there to buy it, no matter this forecast. I'm not going to be responsible for losing money. Your stop loss on these need to be 0. Looks like, again, you have the lower low, but now this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that could be over, but let's look at the RSI. Oh, we do have it here. Yeah, so it's done. So it's done. It's done. It's going back into the abyss like a normal. Now this looks like it could double correct higher, but it doesn't have to. That could be 2. It could also come back up to 57 cents, but I wouldn't trade it. It's going to the abyss. GLL. What is this one? Ultra short gold. Yeah, it is tempting. It's just as tempting as the chess player traders like celebrating yesterday for making their shorts rich. But yeah, at some point this will be an amazing opportunity. I just don't know where it would be. We have no divergence there and none here. That's your connector wave. It's definitely impulsive to the downside. So you need to see a 4 and a 5. You need to see a 4 and a 5. So just like GDX, we don't have a 4 and a 5. So I wouldn't buy this until I see a nice rally that fails with bullish divergence. Then I would be tempted to start to look at it. But you don't have that. So I don't know. Buying it would be, I think, not recommended. I would just be waiting for, a bigger rally like you see there that's very visible on the chart, and then I would wait for that to fail, and then I would be more interested in it. But then even then it could still erase divergence. So I think it's close to entering a 4. But just like the traders on Friday thought that shorted gold, that they won, they may have shorted a wave 5 thinking, and then could extend and go lower. We just don't know. I think right now, wave 4 could be up in any minute. I don't know. Could it let's look at the shortest time. We should see some divergence on the 15-minute, and we do. So yeah, I mean and the 45. So yeah, it's like I said, gold's close to the peak too. So like gold and gold miner, they're all close to the peak. So I do think at any moment it is going to bottom and it's going to have this nice little bounce that's going to fail. I don't know how much, but if you're wrong, it's going to extend and you're going to lose a lot of money. So that's all I can say on that. Roche. Let's take a look. ROG. That can't be it. Rogers Corporation, Roche. Well, it obviously must mean this. So coming off the low, it looks like you're building up a series of well, actually, well, that's the high. It's only moving corrective. So I'm just gonna. There's not enough. Like it's. We're gonna have to label it this way. There's no other way to do it. And so it's in a dangerous area. I don't know. I would not be messing with it. It could end. It looks like it extended enough. I don't have enough data. We only see 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, all divergence erased, no impulsive nature. I would be very, very careful. Again, this probably not a chart I'd want to trade. It could be that. And then it could, like, I don't know, it could extend. I would just be very careful in this chart. It looks like it's starting to come to an end. Opens getting close to a potential box for a reaction higher. Let's see. Open, we did make a lower low, so we're looking for this path. So looking for 583, and then perhaps you get a reaction out of it. It could always double correct lower. We do have a higher high, the opposite of a lower low, which we do like to buy those. So that is kind of the area, and we'll see where it goes. I think you'll react from this box. It's just the question is, how big's the reaction going to be? And it could easily come back and then do a double, or it can just go, launch. So I think that's where it's heading. All right, LPSN. Obviously, it's bottoming in 5. It's being accumulated, right? That's what we're seeing here. It's being accumulated here. So you're just going to have to hang it. Again, it's trying to get people bored of it, to leave it. That one's easy. Deft. But again, that's a lower low too. I'll make a mention, and I don't recommend trading it. This one made a lower low on a swing. So the bullish setup failed. It's failed. So now I would expect more downside, right? So now it's going lower, right? It's going to continue its bearish move, and I would expect more downside because it broke this pivot. Again, it could whipsaw up, but I don't like to trade it. I know a lot of charts like this are fascinating, and the reason I'm stressing it is members not asking it, but other people are watching these videos and they're buying it because they're getting seduced by this upside, and that is not my channel. I'm helping people. If these charts continue to hurt people, I may not analyze these kind of charts anymore. But I'm telling people, do not buy these. I'm not recommend buying these. Even though I'm analyzing it and I do show potential upside, it does not mean Elliott Wave Sage recommends it. I don't show these kind of charts to my members. But if you're listening out there in the world somewhere and you buy it, you're on your own. You cannot blame me for your mistake. You're not listening to what I'm saying. The people asking me, they know the risk, and that's understandable. But if you don't know the risk of buying these and you're buying it and lose all your money, that's on you. That's on you. I'm telling you right now, I don't recommend buying it. So I do think, when I look at this, yeah, it's in the middle area. It's going to be in a congested. It's going to be in a congested area. It's going to be in a chop zone because of this higher high. It is going to whipsaw back up at some point. It is going to whipsaw back up at some point. And this will be in 3 waves, so probably a little bit more downside. Something like this. I think it's going to go a little bit lower to finish the 3-wave move, and then the 3-wave move, and probably stop everyone out here, and then it's going to probably whipsaw back up. Okay. Okay, that's good so far, right? That's a good reaction. Now, we can try to see if we see the subdivisions, and we do. So far, so good. This one looks pretty good so far. Now, see, guys? This is charts we like. Elliott Wave Sage likes charts like this, This is the ones that look okay to me. Low risk, high reward. But look at the risk. Very minimal. The reward is good. It could go, who knows how high. Maybe it won't go that high. Maybe it only go here. Who knows? But the risk is pretty low. You'll get a reaction, and that's what we're looking for. Okay? So this is good. We'll see what happens Monday. This is one that Monday could be a very good day for this. We'll see if that's the case or not. All right. Marvel. My chart may not be up to date on this one, and I'm glad we're looking at it because I need to update it. It's been yeah, I was looking for a corrective move. I don't know why. Why did I think it would fail? Yeah, I'm not sure, but maybe I was just playing around on the chart. I don't agree with that anymore. I don't know. It definitely had corrected 5. It's correcting the grand super cycle. Yeah, it's possible that's the low. Okay, that's the low, the major low. I don't like that or that. So I think it's a little tricky from Elliott wave theory. It looks okay because I see, like, you know, you could probably do 5 waves up on this, right? Actually, it looks pretty okay. And then I don't know, this could be 3, 4, 5. Now I would rather see that, or it could be another 1, 2, like another 1, 2. Or it could be corrective, like I had so I think we'll just keep it labeled bullish. And then we're going to look at a pullback here in 5. So we probably are pulling back here. So maybe we're going to have a box here on this. This could probably produce a box, a dip buy opportunity at around 82. 79.96. I would look for something like that. Okay, something like that. I'll look for something like that. Okay. I think you can. I think it's okay. I think this is what we'll go with on this one. Let's look at the cycles. Weekly cycle. See, it's still pretty overbought. Here, but let's look at the daily. Ooh, look at that. So it's ready to bounce. So yeah, I bet it's this. I bet it's this. I bet you're going to go higher. Now, if the weekly's overbought, then maybe we should be conservative and just call this 4 and then 5. And then then you correct the weekly cycle after that. All right, SSYS. Let's see here. Wow, big meltdown. And then look, a lower low, and look what happened. This is what I'm saying. Lower low, and oh yeah, everything's great. Everything. Oh crap. Oh no. Now maybe that's the low, right? But now you finished the lower low sequence, so we can look at it and see. Did not erase divergence on the weekly, but the monthly would be more important, and neither the monthly, so I wouldn't trade this. So it looks like it's got more downside no matter what happens, because it hasn't fully capitulated yet. Let's see if we can get a target. Yeah, I would be looking for like 158. It's gonna come back down to this area. You need more capitulation. There's still too many people hoping for the good old days, and unfortunately they thought that here and they got annihilated. This looks like 5 waves down and you're getting a counter trend rally here. I mean, be honest, that's what it looks like to me. Some kind of counter trend rally is emerging, and then it should rug pull everybody again. So that's what I'm thinking. Looks like that was the middle area that people got jammed up in. Why we don't trade charts with lower lows, and then you got now they're being obliterated, and there's still, I think, more downside. If we would have erased divergence, you know, you could end that correction, but you're going to need to take that peak out. and it looks like it's correcting this cycle. So you're going to need another leg lower. All right, I wish I had better news, but unfortunately I don't. And again, I don't give happy talk. I tell you what I see. All right, DD, same thing. Look at that, lower low. We pump, and what happens? Catastrophe. This is why we don't, guys. Now, if you're using my system back in August 2020, we would have saw this chart, I would have thrown it away. And guess what? All those people who bought it here are underwater, and they wasted all that time. And then all the people that chased it are all blown up. That's why we throw those. But look, oh, but you could have made all this money. Yeah, but maybe you wouldn't have. Like this was a massive suckers rally that ended in tears. So that's why we throw those charts away. I hope you understand. Hope you understand the reasoning behind why I'm saying this. But it's a great company. I love it. I love their product. Their CEO is amazing, and their mission and vision align with mine. We don't care. You wouldn't have made any money. They obviously don't know how to make money. That's why their stock's going down. Right? They don't know how to make money. If they knew how to make money, their stock would go up. They don't. I don't care. There's something wrong with it. It's broken. Let's take a look at where we are in the RSI. Maybe this one will be a little more fortunate. Have some divergence being erased. No, nowhere even close. So it's just going to counter trend rally here. So you're going to get some counter trend rallies coming. They're going to just suck in more people. They're just going to suck in more people, and it's going to rug pull you. So I think, again, you're going to get a counter trend rally, and then it's just going to, boom, it's going to rug pull more people. And those rallies, as you can see, are pretty impressive. But I can't predict how high they will go. It may already be over before it starts, but I think you need more capitulation on this. It's just not there yet. All right. Okay, Rogue. This one. So we had this area. It's trying to negate this bearish move. We only show 3 with a big drop. Big moment, I guess. If it can take this level out, we can get more bullish on it. Okay, we can get more bullish on it. So I think we have to just stick with our original count that we had. Let me go back and what did I just erase? Yeah. We're gonna stick with it for now, but there is some options here. That looks like 3 waves down, and we came up in 3 and 3 middle. Maybe let me just think about this. See, to me, the C needs divergence. So this 1, 2, yeah, maybe it obviously found the sellers here, but I believe looking at the RSIs, let me just see the weekly again. Yeah, I think we're gonna flip. We have to flip our forecast. We just have to flip it. It just has to be. There's no other count. So I think the bulls pulled it off, and that's okay. This was the area for the rejection. It's funny that it still got slammed back down in the box. So people obviously are shorting it here, but I believe that's a mistake now. I believe we have to go with more of a bullish interpretation of this chart. So that's good. So now I think you have more of confirmation of a low. You can start to try to buy this in 3 waves. If you see it, see an opportunity. I believe. Now this is only 3 up here. So this has options. We could even still be in 2. I don't think we are. I think you can kind of just trade it like this. So maybe you get a bigger pullback, you can get in. But I think you have to call the low in now, and we just have to accept the fact that this was some kind of 5-wave move or something. That C just finished out here. We just have to accept that fact as subdivision. Like maybe it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just accept it. And then since it came back and took that high out, it pretty much negates, without divergent, it pretty much negates, I think it negates the bear case. So that's good. So I think that's good. So I think that now you have confirmation the low's in. All right. Okay, EQX. They're probably, basically the same kind of chart, I would imagine. So again, for a disclaimer, I don't recommend trading these lower lows. I would just throw this chart away. But looking at it, it looks like it's finishing a 5-wave move from this peak. Okay, it looks like that to me. So once we know that cycle ends, it should continue to rise. And for a little bit. See, it's already ending that cycle. So I think we could just label it bullish from the low, from that low, and just see how long the market will support it, because it's correcting the entire grand super cycle to the upside. So I think we can just kind of continue to try to label this 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, 4, 5. Now, if we can't make a 5, well, guess what? It's going to go all the way back down again. So I'm assuming we have the RSI supports the cycles ended on the grand super cycle. So the downside's over, which means we should trade in a bull market for a good period of time. So this should allow us to have more gains for now. But we would want to see that 5 come out and then it continue higher. So I think I think you trade it bullish as long as you're above 9 cents. And I believe you could just, try to buy the pullbacks that emerge on it for the foreseeable future, because it's correcting the whole thing, and I think that will hopefully produce. But more than likely, at some point in the future, those gains will all evaporate. All right. All right. I think we're at our last super chat, right about where I need to get out of here too. So AAL. All right, American Airlines probably getting hurt with the Russell Index, showing another leg lower is needed. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at where. Oh yeah, we're moving in WXY fashion. So these are moving in 3-wave moves. So we have 1, 2, 3. So yeah, one more. It looks like one more leg lower is coming. Lines up with the Russell. Maybe single digits somewhere. It's going to be hard to time the exact bottom. I would look to time it with the Russell Index or the transport sector, right? I think it trades with the transport sector. Amcor is, I think, a good one for longer term. If you can get a setup, it has a weird chart that makes trying to find an entry really challenging. We had this box for our lead members. It was kind of scary to buy it in April, but maybe some of you guys did out there. I'm looking for a 5 here, and then hopefully we'll get a bigger pullback and we can actually get a better entry. See here we were like we could have gone to like a little lower, but I think right now we're looking for one more high. This could become triangle 4, but one more high and hopefully a pullback. Let's look at that weekly cycle. Yeah, see, it's way overdue for the correction. Look, it's way overdue, right? So I would say if you're an Amcor, be patient, wait for that weekly cycle to correct, and once it does, this needs to be on your shopping list. Okay? And the reason for it is we have something like that, and I believe this count is this. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you have 3 of 3 of 3, and you're gonna probably break that, and then hopefully break out. So this has a lot of reward for as if you pull back, little risk. I mean, it's almost as tempted to just buy it here if you're a long-term investor, but I think you're going to have to sit through, if you buy it here as an investor, you're going to have to sit through the pain of the weekly cycle reset, which is painful because you could lose a lot of money on that and watch your account go down. But I do think it's going to be okay. I feel better with a 5 though. Now with only 3, that is worrisome. Could it double correct and flash crash down? If we don't bounce in 5 and we just break, let's say 25, 24, then I would be looking for the double correction. And then we may be breaking these lows, potentially. But it still would be a buy, just a different level. All right, AGL. What's going on here? Again, go to 0. Again, for those of you out there, I don't endorse it. I wouldn't recommend buying it or trading it. I don't, even though I'm analyzing it now. It's almost close to a Fibonacci area where it would react, 38 cents, but it's close, but still far away in price. It looks like we're going to have to zoom out and really study where we are with it. So it's a typical go to 0 chart, but although it has a clear connector, so maybe it's going to find a low and surprise us. Yeah, I mean, it already cut through the box. So it's worrisome. We ended a cycle here, you see, boom, and now, so your connector wave may be here. So this bounce may have corrected that whole move. So yeah, this is definitely one I do not recommend. I mean, it could do that. Now, it seems unlikely, so I would, again, and we see this all the time, I would assume it's going to probably whipsaw you around. So let's just assume that's going to happen. 1, 2, so that's A, B, so maybe it's going to do something like that. Because I think that's too bare. If it's going to do that, it's going bankrupt. So I think it's going to do something like this, is my guess. And you don't want to see divergence. So even the beat can even go lower a little bit. But that's what I think. But I don't recommend, just because I show this, I don't recommend buying it, or this is, again, the chart that I just throw away in my recycling bin, and I just say goodbye. Don't want to buy it. But I do think, if you want my honest opinion, I do think it's going to probably do this, if you're really interested in trying to trade it. Okay, ELF. How's that one been doing? So this one also kind of double corrected and then made more of an impulsive move down in a low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So we're just going to kind of change the chart up a little bit. It's obviously found the bottom, but we'll look at the RSI. We never took that, so that's not 5 there. So maybe I was going to make a change, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this is just a big C wave. That's all it is. It's just probably a big C wave. Yeah. So that's all it did. Is so C just extended significantly. Something like that. Depending on where you draw your 4 or something like that. So it's obviously coming out. It's definitely one you want to buy now. It's coming out of its correction, right? Let's see where we are in the count. Clearly, that's one cycle. That may be 4. I think we'll go back and check the weekly, but I believe that's going to be a 4, a triangle in 4. Right, and then it's probably going to pull back again. So that's probably what's happening. The weekly cycle. See, it needs to reset down. So I do think, I do think it's got more. It's going to go up in 5 and probably be more of a sideways correction, and then come out. So I'd be looking to buy this if you can find opportunity to go long. USAR. That was been very volatile, but really nice pumps and really big crashes. you're looking for a move higher like Monday. You need to see that. If we don't, then obviously it's a completely different count than what we have. But I really want to see another high. We need to get that going. It has wave 4 support, so like Monday. We'll know Monday if it turns out. I think it's going to turn higher. Okay. I think it's going to turn higher. And then, of course, you know, the 4s and 5s, and then a bigger. So this has been very erratic, both directions. So I have it in a box right now. I have it in a box right now. Okay. AEVA. And right before I leave, I'll just give you my thoughts on Bitcoin, just because I usually do that. What happened here? So again, it's doing the same thing as all the other charts. It made a connector. It's likely going lower. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So, but it's only moving in 3s, not 5s down. I bet it's gonna make another wave up. So I think what we'll do with this one, it made a lower low, but it's moving in 3 waves down right now. Let me go back to the monthly. Yeah, it's 5 down from the monthly, from the peak, from this. Damn, what happened to this thing? So it's obviously in. I think it's in. This is what it's doing right now. C, but like I said, C could just keep going, and I actually think this one may be a candidate for the C keeps going. The C keeps going, but so again, I'm just trying to do this real quick here. So see, it's too deep for 4. So I suspect. You see you're above that peak. I suspect it's another 1, 2. Again, I'll just say it again. I don't recommend buying it. I would not trade these charts. But if you're interested, this is I'm giving you my honest opinion on where I think it is. But this is a dangerous chart with the lower low sequence. I do think though it's probably going to continue higher. Okay, this would be. It has to stay above this 12. This level though for that pattern to work. Okay, and then so Bitcoin, just real quick, and this is the end because I've been on a while. Bitcoin, I flipped the label to the bearish interpretation, just to align with more the market forecast. I think we're going to see a counter trend rally, and once we see the counter trend rally, I would expect that to fail for the final low. I think I'm looking for this as the more favorable path for right now. If you want to know more, you can be a basic or elite member, and I can explain more. But ultimately, we should see more upside. I had to lower our target by lowering this, but I think the path to get there may be double correction, and you just have to prepare for that possible outcome. If we don't get the double correction, that's great. We can flip back to the count we had before. Too, which is why here I don't recommend buying or selling. I would buy in this area, but if you want to know more, you can be a member, and I talk about it more. All right, a couple last minute ones. Again, I think I know this MLGO. Again, disclaimer: if it's the one I think it is, let me see here. This one is not the one. Okay, never mind. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this one does have a lower low. Okay, so disclaimer. We throw these charts away. Anytime you see a lower low in 3 waves, it's a trash because that could be the peak. I'm showing this, but this could be the peak. Okay, and that's what it's starting to look like to me. So even though I showed this, we did get a reaction from the box. It looks like it's failing. So once you break 894, then we have to assume the corrective cycle's over, and it's gonna go down and take a whole nother leg lower. and a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and it's going to crash. That's what you're going to have to assume. Or it's going to whipsaw around more. So I think breaking this low and breaking is telling me now it's taking another leg lower. Okay, so we'll just have to accept that fact, and hopefully, things will work out. Depending on whatever you're trying to do here. It could have extended, but it didn't. Right, and that's why we never trade charts with the lower low sequence. It's the opposite of the higher high. That's our secret recipe for making all the money we did in our elite members. We got all those because we saw all the higher highs. Well, the opposite is true for lower lows. When you see lower lows, it's telling you that at some point C will end and it will collapse. So there you go. Okay, and then MYO. MYO is okay. It's still okay. Not invalidated. We did give that here. So if you bought it when we told everyone about the breakout at 84, you could have sold some at 130, 120. That's why you always take profit on the reaction, because there's never a guarantee that it moons. So the idea was to get a reaction. You did. You got a profitable trade. Now, if it continues to break down and we don't get 5, well, guess what? It's going to take a whole nother leg lower, and we're going to break these lows. So we in the first warning sign of that happening, honestly, we'll be breaking $1, breaking this low here. So we really need to see this rally, I think, on Monday. If it doesn't, it is at risk of potentially being a corrective bounce. And the only people that would be angry about it are the traders who didn't hear my message down here. They decided to buy it here. So if you're like the gold traders rushing the store in Vietnam and Singapore, and you were buying MYO here, well, you're not thinking about the market right. I told all my members and even people on X, this was the breakout, and you did. You got a nice reaction. Now, if you didn't take profit, that's something you're going to have to learn as a trader. You always take something, but nothing's guaranteed. So if you're buying it here, I'd put your stop at $1, so essentially 3 cents. But I mean, it's got to we need that follow through. Let's hope we get it. If not, it's just gonna the trade's just gonna break down. And again, it could even turn into a whipsaw, right? Remember, we could have 3 up, 3 down, and it could even do that. And my guess is that's probably what we'll do if we start to break down. Okay. All right, guys, I'm done for the day. I appreciate it. All the super chats. I tried to use this one as more of an educational live stream for the people that watch me that aren't members and understand like my viewpoint and my thoughts behind the market. I think it's important to hear. And again, if you're members and want to be, we've done really well. And you can go on my X account and people post about that and how well they've been doing. We really navigated the market pretty well so far, but we do get them wrong sometimes. But for the most part, we look for the low risk, high reward setups, and we trade those. We're not here to trade every day, and we're not gamblers. We're not I'm not a prayer group. I'm not a leader. I'm not your preacher, and we just pray for calls to go higher and randomly buy things that just go down enough. So good luck, guys, and that's all I have. I hope you have a good weekend. And we'll see what next week brings. If next week is going to be a relief rally and we build out the connector, or are we just going to crash and get this weekly cycle correction over with. We'll see what happens. October is still not over yet, and October has had crashes, so it's still not over. So even though Friday felt like really pleasant,